Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Saturday, January 4th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kickoff is going to be here in roughly 10 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get settled in for some Saturday night football. Let's get it, baby. And on the thumb, on the left, we have the Tiger King, Joe Burrow. And on the right, one of the best defensive players on the planet, T.J. Watt. Let's go, baby. I am ready. And obviously, we know there's multiple scenarios, for the Cincinnati Bengals to be able to get into the playoffs. But since the Ravens ended up winning the matchup that we just watched against the Browns, they obviously win the division over the Steelers. So I'm not really sure if we're going to get a lot of players sitting for Pittsburgh, if they're going to rest some of their guys. I assume that, seeding still matters. And if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm playing all the starters and I'm trying to win. The last time that these two teams matched up, they scored almost 100 points. So I'm ready for some action. Hopefully we get a very high-scoring matchup, possibly in the 30s. I'm not sure if we're going to get into the 40s for both teams, but hopefully it'll end up being just as entertaining as the first time that they played each other. And again, we got a good one, obviously, tomorrow on the slate as well. Sunday Night Football. Right, we got the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. Both teams are 14-2. Can't wait to be able to see who ends up winning that one tomorrow. And then on Monday, we have the debut on Netflix for Monday Night Raw. And since we don't have Monday Night Football anymore, that is a perfect segue to be able to do that on Mondays now moving forward until we get into the NFL season next year. So I'm definitely excited for the next 3 days. We got Bengals Steelers. We got the Vikings and the Lions, and then we got Monday Night Raw on Netflix. I mean, what's better than that? You tell me. I don't really know. It's going to be great to be able to get these two NFL matchups as well as Monday Night Raw on Netflix on Monday. Tuesday, we might end up doing maybe the Blue Devils for Duke, and then Wednesday we'll take the day off, and then we're going to get right back into action, obviously, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Let's go, baby. I am ready. Sarah in the building. What's good? Stay safe out there. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're going to try to shoot for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall if we get volume, and we'll always be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Stay safe out there, just like I seen with Kansas City and having some weather issues, so they're not able to fly out of that area just yet, or at least that was the case within about an hour ago. Maybe they have been able to take off, but it seems like there's been some major storms in the Midwest in multiple counties and multiple states. So if you are in that mess, stay safe out there. And again, come inside, watch some football with your boy. Bengals and Steelers kick off here in just a few minutes. Let's go, baby. I got to turn on the Blazers and the Bucks here as well. Dame going against his former team. And then I know the Kraken play later tonight, I think around 7 p.m. Pacific, but this will give me an opportunity to kind of double dip. And let's see here, Bucks and Blazers. Let's get it on here. All right, perfect. All right, so I'm good to go. All right, I got the Bucks and the Blazers on. I got the Bengals and Steelers. Once we get a couple hours into this stream, I'll probably throw the Kraken game up as well. I just want to be able to soak in as much action as we can. Cincinnati is the favorite tonight on the Vegas line by 2. But again, since the Ravens ended up winning, we'll find out if any of the Steelers starters end up getting limited, action, limited, snap count, since obviously the Ravens ended up winning the division. But I assume with the rivalry running deep as much as it does, you want to get off the schneid and get off the 3-game losing streak, and you want to make sure you finish strong. I haven't really seen teams in December, go 0-3, at this point, or 1-4, 1-3. 2-2. You definitely want to be playing your best ball in December. You want to go 3-1 or 4-0, and if you don't, the chances of you actually making it to the AFC, NFC Championship game or Super Bowl is drastically, it definitely is a big decline there. You have to be able to finish strong, and hopefully we end up getting a good one here tonight. Daniel in the building, what's good? STL in the building, what's good? Let's go, baby. And shout out to, Urinating Tree, for, sending people my way when we had the Ducks and Ohio State. It's nice to be able to know that, there are well-established, YouTubers that have more subs than me. And obviously they recognize the grind. They know that I cover the Ducks and I cover the Mariners and I do a little bit of everything. But, for another YouTuber to be able to send some of his people to another channel, that's not something that typically happens often. So shout out to Urinating Tree, big Steelers fan, and we'll see if they can come up with a victory here tonight. Let's go, baby. How you doing, STL? How you doing, Daniel? How you doing, Sarah? Let's go, baby. Super excited for this game. Super excited for the Vikings and the Lions on Sunday Night Football. I'm excited for the Bucks and the Saints in the morning. Go Bucks, trying to win the division 4 years in a row after the Saints won it 4 years in a row previously. It went Panthers 2 years, right? Falcons 1 year, Saints for 4 years, and now we're trying to do it again, and we're trying to, win it 4 years in a row. And we're going to have some critical injuries in the secondary, which might hinder us a little bit, but I think our team is just too good at this point, and we will end up winning tomorrow, but definitely going to be watching a lot of NFL tomorrow night, and then obviously Netflix on Monday for Monday Night Raw. It sounds like from what I've been talking about on social media, as long as people get home from work in time and everything is settled in, hopefully we end up having a decent crowd for that one. And again, once we start producing Monday Night Raw live stream watch parties on the regular, hopefully we can start building our wrestling audience. And then that way, once we get into the PLEs and the pay-per-views, maybe we'll have a bigger crowd than just our regulars, and we can actually grow the channel that way. And obviously for some of us in the room, we love WWE. I'll watch occasionally some of the other federations like AEW, but we're not going to be doing any AEW streams probably for the foreseeable future, but maybe one day, if they end up going on a similar type of platform like Netflix for them on WWE side. But definitely excited for these next 3 days. Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, NFL, and then WWE. What gets better than that? Nothing. Let's go. And shout out to all the new subs that we have acquired, not only in 2025, but also in December. We're over 20,700. So right now we're at 20,703. Next goal is 20,800. And again, it's a kind of a slow and steady process, but again, it's about, making sure we get the right fit of people. And again, there's going to be other people that are going to grow their channel and not really, care about the haters or the trolls. But I want to make sure that, we have a good chat and a good room, obviously for not only my mental health, but for all the people that I care about and your guys' mental health as well. Captain in the building, what's good? Let's go, baby. Obviously, the Steelers cannot, win the division, and I don't think they're going to be resting any of their players. Last time both of these teams played, they almost scored, 100 points and, 80, 90 points combined. So, I wouldn't mind seeing the Bengals, in. But again, other things are going to happen for that to happen. And, with the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs had a little bit of a delay with the weather there, trying to get out of Kansas City, I assume, to Denver. But Denver will be playing its starters. Kansas City will not. So you would assume Denver will be able to win. And then obviously they need Miami to lose. So for whatever weird reason, unless Carson Wentz ends up having the game of his life, you would assume Denver will be able to win. Miami is kind of hit or miss. But, regardless if the Bengals get in or not, I want to be rooting for them today, just to give them a shot, one piece of the puzzle. If the Steelers win, that'll be good for their fan base like urinating tree. But again, 3-game losing streak, they're just trying to get off the schneid and kind of finish somewhat better than what they've been playing. But again, I know the Bengals don't got a defense, and I know it's going to be hard for them to win on the road. But again, I like TJ Watt, and I'm a defensive guy. But this season, it's been about Joe Burrow, right? Chase Brown, even though he's not going today. I heard he got a little bit banged up. And then Jamar Chase. So this might be a little bit tougher for Cincinnati if they don't have their starting running back. And that's a little unfortunate because I think you need him to be able to win this game. But hopefully the backups can step up enough. And usually for me, I don't really care who wins. I just want a good game, a good competitive matchup. But I'll probably be rooting a little bit more for Cincinnati than Pittsburgh. I mean, obviously, I'll be cheering on, the great plays on both sides. I usually like to keep it right down the middle. But I wouldn't mind seeing Cincinnati. Obviously, if they do get in, they need help with Denver and Miami, but they are a threat to Kansas City. They are a threat, right, to Baltimore. They are a threat to Pittsburgh, and they are a threat to Buffalo. And that's what we want, right? We want to have the best teams in. And even though the Bengals defense, can't stop a nosebleed, their offense is one of the funnest to watch this year. So I don't know what we're going to end up getting, if we're going to get a defensive battle, and Cincinnati's defense ends up playing better today for whatever reason, if Pittsburgh ends up holding it down on that side of the ball. But hopefully we end up getting a high-scoring affair. And if the defense is a little minimal, I'm okay with that. There'll be some defensive plays. For the last time they played, it was entertaining, throwing up 80, 90 points combined. And not sure if you're going to get that today because some of the players aren't playing, but hopefully it ends up being a good one here tonight. Captain with the tenor. Let's go, baby. Good start. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you 90 to go to be able to hit the goal. And I appreciate you hanging with me yesterday. And again, if I end up grinding it out, spending a lot of time, making the thumb and going through all of the prep, we have to have a decent turnout. And sometimes when the turnout isn't there, I got to save my mental health, spend time with Paisley and, go that route. And there's not going to be too many streams, throughout 2025 that we'll have to cut early or end early. But again, we got a good one here today. Bengals and Steelers. Tomorrow, Sunday Night Football, Vikings and Lions. Monday, WWE Monday Night Raw debuts on Netflix for the very first time. What's better than those 3 games here today? Let's freaking go. Good choice, the Tiger King. I was kind of thinking of, whenever I think about Joe Burrow, I think I'm going to go back and watch Tiger King. I know it was kind of a fad during COVID. I loved it. I thought it was super entertaining. Obviously, Joe Exotic is kind of a disturbing individual, but there are aspects of him that I kind of like, and I know he's been reaching out to different, presidents to try to get pardoned, and there is an evil side to him, and obviously you don't want to see any kind of like animal abuse because you know how much I love Paisley. I'm not about, any type of animal abuse at all. But I feel like it's been a minute since I've watched it, and it was just such a crazy time when it came out. I'm thinking I might have to go back and rewatch it again. I only watched it the original time it came out, and I haven't watched it since, but I've kind of wanted to watch it again, and let's put up some Burrow for our guy here, Captain, the Tiger King. Let's go. But one thing is for sure, Joe Exotic is a crazy mofo. We know that. But an entertaining mofo, to say the least. Start you off with his college photo there at LSU. Still hard to fathom that they had him, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire all on the same team. No wonder it's recognized as one of the best offensive college football teams of all time. It's still kind of crazy to me. You got a top 5 quarterback and two of the top three, receivers. You could honestly say, Jetta 1, Chase 2, or Chase 1, Jetta 2. That's crazy just to think about that they have those types of talent, at that point in college. And then obviously you have teammates with Burrow and Chase, and we'll see what happens with those guys, as well as a guy like T. Higgins, who may or may not be on the Bengals next year. Looks like the money line has just changed, and now it's Pittsburgh by a half, 0.5, even though it was favoring the Bengals by 2.5 just a few minutes back. I mean, I'm a type of guy that if I like something, I'm going to go back and watch it. Like, fuck, I've already watched True Blood, on HBO. I probably watched that, beginning to end, maybe 4 or 5 times all the way through already. There's just certain programs, like I'm going back and watching The Walking Dead from the very beginning. Like once I end up liking something, it may take a few months, for me to kind of scale back and watch it again. But, I definitely have my favorites until I'm waiting for something new to debut, like Law and Order SVU on the 17th, and then Severance, which is an amazing show on Apple Plus. Apple TV Plus, and again, they have a lot of really good sci-fi programming. Now, normally I'm not gonna go out of my way and pay for something like that, but it does come with my cell phone provider. I get Netflix and Apple TV Plus included in my plan for free. So I decided to kind of browse it, and Silo is another really good one as well if you're looking for, programs to watch, or if you end up doing a free trial of Apple TV Plus. But Tiger King, I think I might have to. And there was another show that I was wanting to watch, but it's no longer available on HBO, Westworld. I absolutely loved Westworld, but I found out that they took it off of HBO On Demand or Showtime On Demand because they didn't want to pay the actors anymore. So again, if they end up replaying it, they have to keep paying royalties to the actors and the people who are part of the show. And I guess they were being cheap, but I was like, fuck, man, I wish I would have ended up watching Westworld one more time after it kind of ended because I've been kind of itching to watch that, and there's no way to watch it. So Centennial Holmes with the terrible towel. Yeah, Netflix is worth it. Shameless. I'm watching Shameless on there right now from the very beginning, and Walking Dead. And, they got Lucifer on there that I'll start from the very beginning. The Blacklist, fantastic show. Raymond Reddington, fucking awesome. So, there's plenty of stuff to go on there. Here we go. Bengals with the return, and a decent return for Cincinnati. Skoranek. All right, baby. Tiger King. Let's get it, baby. Herbert run to the right for no gain. 2nd down and 10 for the Bengals. What a start for the Steelers. Stifled right at the line of scrimmage there. And then we're not having Chase Brown. And, I don't know how that's going to work, without having Chase Brown playing today. That definitely takes a big aspect out of Cincinnati's game. I mean, we already know their defense is terrible. The last thing that they need is to have their running back out. And, obviously Zach Moss has been out for a long time. That was kind of the two-headed horse, Chase Brown, Zach Moss, right? Trying to fill in the shoes of Joe Mixon. But Herbert isn't too bad, but it's definitely a downgrade between those other guys that they had playing for him. 2nd down and 10. Burrow towards the sideline. Gesicki, 1st down. Bengals, good effort there. Move the chains. Yeah, but I got a little bit of everything. I got Netflix, I got Hulu, I got Disney Plus, I got Apple TV Plus, but I'm only paying for Peacock? Right now. I mean, obviously some of those services are, through my cell phone provider, part of like my bill and whatnot through the perks. Anyone that's got T-Mobile, you should go to your T-Mobile online mobile account, and all you got to do is like turn some things on. And then if you do have that, then it'll give you access to those things. I wish I would have known that years ago. I could have had Netflix and Apple TV Plus for free years ago. T. Higgins with the nice grab towards the sideline there for 9 yards. 2nd down and 1 at the Cincy 48. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if college football, and as well as some of these other, providers, like don't be surprised if Hulu, Disney Plus, Peacock, whoever's the highest bidder, we're going to end up having games on the college side, NFL side. Nothing is going to shock me whatsoever. 2nd down and 1. Burrow short middle to Gesicki for 16 yards. 1st down, Bengals. Move the chains. There we go. Okay, baby. We see you. We see you, Tiger King. You the man. And Burrow's really likable. You know how there's like some quarterbacks in the NFL that are just kind of cringy, like, interview-wise, or, they have this ego about them or aura that's negative. Like, I don't think there's anything that we can say bad about Joe Burrow. He's just a really cool, likable guy, kind of like a Joe Montana. I don't think there's really anything that he's like the modern-day Joe Montana. There's really nothing you can say bad about him. He's a competitor. He's fiery. He makes the NFL better. And he might even be more likable than Josh Allen. And Josh Allen, I feel, is pretty likable overall, but obviously depending on who you root for, you may or may not agree or feel the same. But I feel like early in Josh Allen's career, he had a high ceiling, but didn't really get going until Diggs came. But then he's been able to kind of get better and better as the years have gone on. And I feel that, he's pretty likable, Josh Allen, with his fire, but Burrow might be the most likable quarterback, out of all teams in the NFL. That may not be your own. $1 holla. Every dollar counts. Thank you so much. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. We're at 11, 89 to go, and Khalil Herbert is going to have to lead the way. Burrow pass short to Jamar Chase for 8 yards. I like what I'm seeing. 1st down, Bengals. Let's go. I like what I'm seeing here out of Cincy. We're going to have to throw that up there. Okay, baby. Let me see. I mean, Pittsburgh's defense is legit. So, to be able to march so easily shows you really the skill set of Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase, 1st down, Bengals. I don't know if I would say Bo Nix is the next Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was one of the most intelligent quarterbacks, and Bo was incredibly smart, but I wouldn't put him in that category. Shout out to Tiffy Time with her cashing in. For me, Bo Nix is kind of like a Baker Mayfield. The way that he plays, a Drew Brees, Baker Mayfield clone. Peyton is in a class of his own. I don't think there's anyone that's ever going to be like Peyton Manning. That's high praise for you to think that, though. And obviously, we don't assume that either one is going to win titles like those guys did, but, we hope that they have some great success. Hopefully Burrow can get back to the Super Bowl again, but if that defense doesn't improve, they're not going to. Touchdown, Burrow to Chase. Boom. And then obviously with Bo Nix, they got a long ways to go. Offensive line, skill position players, running back, wide receiver, tight end, defense, even though the defense is pretty well put together. There we go. Nice job, Burrow to Chase, baby. They're making it look so easy this year, aren't they? Regardless of the opponent, it's a sight to see, man. Let's go, baby. You already know about this dynamic duo. Extra point is up and good. 7-0 Bengals. And it's not like the Steelers has got a dog shit defense. Their defense is pretty solid, but they have been reeling in December. Let's go, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go. Let me know what you want to do, Sarah. I got you. 7-5 Blazers against the Bucks on the road. I mean, I think that, you can look at like body shape, play style, and whatnot. And then obviously the intelligence, supporting cast. I've been watching this game for a long, long time. And like I said, I'm not going to get every prediction correct. And a lot of my comparisons, not everyone's going to agree with me. But I think if you think about what I say, you'll kind of understand where I'm coming from. And I think I'm usually locked in for the most part, but like I said, I feel like Bo Nix, is a guy that is like the closest thing to like a Baker Mayfield, a guy that can bootleg, a guy that is intelligent, a guy that's passionate, and a guy that's going to continue to get better and better and better. And you got to think, Bo doesn't have anything to work with besides Cortland Sutton. Imagine if Bo, had the Bucs offense with like Evans and Godwin and Jalen McMillan and Bucky. Like, think about how good Bo's numbers would be. They would be maybe not as good as Baker's yet, but you give him some time, he could end up developing into a top 5 or top 10 quarterback, possibly one day. But with like Brady and Manning, I mean, we're talking about two of the GOATs that, no one's going to, catch necessarily Brady besides maybe Mahomes if we're lucky, but I don't think that'll happen. And then obviously Peyton Manning winning one on 2 different teams. But again, he went from a 3-head in college to a 4-head to a 5-head to a 6-head. He might be an alien. But again, as far as like changing the game, audibles, and the way that he ran play action where he would run to the running back as fast as he could every single time and had the same kind of delivery, that's what made Peyton Manning's play action the best ever, because you never really knew if he was, handing the ball off or if it was going to be a play action. And I think that some quarterbacks, they kind of give away, what they're going to be doing if they don't do the same type of repetition over and over. And that's one thing about Peyton Manning that I think a lot of people didn't really notice, is that he always was locked in on even the little things. So that way he wouldn't give away any type of strategy, like, oh, he, would lean his shoulder this way. Oh, it's not going to be a handoff. It's going to be play action. Like, people tried to figure him out, but, it's Peyton Manning. He's a one-on-one. All right, Steelers about to get the ball here. Appreciate the two of you with the support. Hopefully we'll get some more people to come through and hang out. I mean, like I said, some of us love the NFL, maybe more than some of the others, but there's not really anything else going on. I mean, there's a few NHL games and a few NBA games, but not better than this. Bengals and Steelers, so... All right, we'll see what Russell Wilson's got going here. And I'll sprinkle in a few more. We'll get some Iowa ones for you for Kittle. But I'll just dip that one for you for now. Fantastic player. Wouldn't be surprised if he's in WWE one day, and I think he would be perfect for it. If there's any NFL player that's perfect for the WWE, it's Kittle. He already has that eccentric personality. He's great on the microphone, and he's athletic. He could end up being a manager or a part-time wrestler at some point, possibly. So, can't wait to see what happens with George as he gets a little bit older, and obviously we'll have to see his development, obviously, after San Fran. First down and 10. Najee Harris up the middle for 3 yards. Second down and 7 on the Pittsburgh 43 with that short game. Pickens is back. Good. Russell Wilson, short right to Pickens for no gain. Got to be a better throw than that, though, and a better opportunity. They want to get Pickens in space, but, Cincinnati has a terrible defense, but they got to be able to give him a chance out there. Getting chippy on the sideline already. Bengals are flying around the field acting like they got a defense. We know that's not true. Third down and 7 on the Pitt 43. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Russell Wilson, that offensive line has been a bugaboo. And if the Cincinnati Bengals are going to get sack lunches, and remember, they do have T-Rex from the Saints, right? Trey Hendrickson is still one of the best sack lunch artists in the NFL. But if there's anything that's holding the Steelers back from when Russell was playing in maybe October, November compared to lately, in December and going into January, right, is the offensive line has played incredibly bad, and Russell Wilson has been hanging on to the football too long. And I get it. You're not the same player as you were when you were on Seattle as a top 3, quarterback and MVP candidate. In his mind, he probably still thinks he's as fast as he was and he can still move the same way. But again, it's like for him to be effective, he needs to get out and bootleg a lot faster. He can't just stay in the pocket because he can't run away anymore. So if you know that you're not as fast as you used to be, your arm isn't as good as it used to be either, you need to make sure that you're helping your team out, especially knowing the offensive line isn't good. It's always been the bugaboo for the Steelers. They have never really had a really good or elite offensive line in a long time. So, if I'm Russ, more shotgun set. Obviously, if you're going under center, then you can hand it off to Najee or Jaylen Warren. But if you're running shotgun set or even under center, you're going to have to run bootleg and sprint and get to the outside, run away from everybody, and then see if someone is open. But if he's just going to stay in the pocket and be primarily a pocket quarterback, they're going to get eliminated very, very quickly in the playoffs, once they get in there because, I feel like the Ravens could beat them right now, maybe in October, November, maybe not, because they were hotter at that point after they made the move from Fields to Russ. But things have progressively gotten worse for Pittsburgh lately within the last few weeks. But the offensive line hasn't played good. Russ hasn't played good. And again, we know that they could get to the playoffs. But at this point, they don't look like they can beat the Ravens. They don't look like they can beat Kansas City. They don't look like they can beat Buffalo. Who could you beat? Honestly, even if you ended up playing against the Chargers, could you beat them? You would think they could because they're the Steelers, but I'm not too sure, especially if Herbert, has time and they have the defense step up and the running game actually is, pretty close. That would actually be a probably pretty fair matchup, Chargers and Steelers. But again, if Denver got in, maybe they could beat Denver, but there's not many teams. Maybe they could beat the Texans because someone has to come out of the AFC South, but that's not really saying anything. But Pittsburgh, at one point, a month and a half ago, we thought that they were one of the top 3 teams in the AFC. They have gotten leapfrogged by Baltimore now, and I feel with Pittsburgh, they're just not what they were about a month and a half ago. And at one point we said, oh, wow, Chiefs, Bills, Steelers. No arguments, right? Those are the top three. And then we had Eagles, Lions. Now we've added Minnesota, taking away Pittsburgh, and then maybe added, maybe Baltimore. But again, Baltimore can play a great regular season ball, but as we know, they kind of nut up and they choke in the playoffs. They don't have a good, standing typically against like a rival like Pittsburgh, especially they can't beat Buffalo or Kansas City. So, at some point, they made the AFC Championship game last year and they were very, very close, but they lost McDonald. The defensive side of the ball isn't as good, but they've been playing a little bit better defensively within the last few weeks. But I just don't know if I would choose the Ravens over the Bills or the Chiefs at this moment. Little screen. Cam Grandy with the catch. 9-yard gain. Yeah, but also, you know what I mean, Sarah, but like there's games where the Chargers have looked really good, but then we've also seen the Chargers look like shit too. Same thing with Pittsburgh. They look good, they look like shit. So it's like, really right now, the only ones that we feel confident as fans is the Chiefs, whether you want to admit it or not, because they have Andy Reid, they got Mahomes, they got Kelsey, they got Chris Jones, they got Spags. It may not be pretty, but, we know that they're efficient. They don't turn the ball over. They're number one on third down. They're great at defense, number one in a couple categories. Whether you love them or you hate them, they have turned into the new New England Patriots, and that's just how it is. They went from underdog to villain, and if you're good enough long enough, you turn into the villain. And then we know the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, even if their defense is a little suspect, the offense with James Cook and Allen is so good that might be the only team that can beat the Chiefs this year in the AFC. 3rd down and 2. Burrow short left to Gesicki. They're getting him the ball quite often. 1st down, Bengals. And it shows you, the Steelers are going against a team that doesn't have a defense. And then Russell Wilson still couldn't end up, moving the football. So if the Bengals defense is one of the worst in the NFL and you can't move the football, and then you have to rely on your defense, which is primarily one of the best normally, but if you have injuries or, you double team TJ Watt, because he's kind of the game wrecker, right? But if Hayward isn't really the same player as he was in years past, it was usually Hayward on one side, TJ Watt on another, and then like Minka Fitzpatrick. But this defense, they're wearing the Steeler colors, like what we used to watch, like SEC teams like Bama and Georgia. But just because you're wearing the colors doesn't mean that you're the same team that we're used to watching from a few years ago. Burrow, little check down. There we go. 1st down, Cincy. And another thing that I don't think a lot of people are mentioning, the Cincinnati Bengal offensive line has played pretty brilliant, considering that they don't really have, year in and year out. I don't think anyone is like, oh my God, did you guys see the Bengals O-line? Like, it's not one of those things that we really talk about. But this particular year, for whatever reason, all the talent that they had on the defense in the past after Jesse Bates III left, right, and ended up going to the Falcons. Some of that talent, for whatever reason, went to some of the offensive line, and they actually have been overachieving, giving Burrow enough time to go through progressions. And then obviously we know how great Chase Brown has been, and he's not even playing here today. Herbert with the gain of 8, 2nd down and 2 at the Pittsburgh 35. Yeah, but I don't think anyone can trust the Steelers. And again, we know Russ might be a better option than Justin Fields, but I'm thinking at this point, and I know you don't want to keep going back and forth, and we know that, Russell can throw better than Justin Fields, but Justin Fields is better on the run. If I was Pittsburgh, and I know that they wouldn't do this, I would probably sprinkle in Justin Fields. It's not like you're going to bench Russ, but I think that you're probably going to lose either way, but I think you have a bigger chance to make more explosive plays if you were to implement Fields now, at least a little bit, instead of just having him sit on the bench and not give you anything, because we've already seen what Russ has looked like here in the last month, and it hasn't been good. And we already know Fields can't throw either, but maybe they can actually move the ball with his legs, something that Russ can't do. And every once in a while, if Fields can get, away from the defense, he can do a little, check downs, and he's not going to really wow you, but, both quarterbacks are, average. Russ played above average for a little bit, but one thing is for sure, they need better quarterbacks than Russ or Fields if they want to make it to the AFC Championship game in the future, or win a couple playoff games, because the way that the team sits right now, O-line stinks. Russ is limited. Fields is limited. They need more. You can't rely on TJ Watt to give you fucking 5 sacks every game and then Cameron Hayward to fucking be a threat and then, Minkah Fitzpatrick and everyone else to play out of their minds. At some point, the defense is going to get tired even if they have elite bodies on that side of the ball. First down and 10 for the Bengals. Burrow short middle to Herbert for 4 yards. Second down and 6 at the Pittsburgh 26. Yeah, but you're not going to run 2 quarterbacks at this point in the season, and again, it probably would be causing some chaos in the locker room if you decided to bench, Russ now. It's like you've already committed, so you're not going to be able to go back and forth. But it would be kind of interesting to see what Fields could give you, at this point. And again, it's not like they're going to be able to throw him in there as a starter, especially if he's been sitting on the bench for the last couple months. He's going to be rusty and he's going to be raw. But just the aspect of using his legs is intriguing to me. But both are not good enough to be the Steelers starting quarterback long term. They are not Ben Roethlisberger, and it shows. They may be better than Kenny Pickett was, but that's not saying too much. Second down and 5, little screen. Good tackle there by the Steelers. First time I was able to say that. Negative 1 yards to Gesicki, but we got a penalty on the play. Flag on the play. An eligible man downfield. But I have been impressed with the Bengals O-line this year. I mean, obviously defense stinks, but Burrow has been an MVP candidate. Jamar Chase looks like the best wide receiver in the NFL. T. Higgins, when he's healthy, is great. And Chase Brown, obviously being the dog when they had him and Zach Moss, and now Zach Moss is no longer available. He has been awesome. And unfortunate that we don't have Chase Brown. I was really hoping that we would get him here tonight, but it shows you the Bengals can win without him against the Steelers. So, even though one team is 8-8 and another team is 10-6, who's playing better ball right now between these teams? It's Cincinnati. And you could actually argue that they're playing the best ball out of anybody in the AFC besides the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens. Like, you could probably put the Bengals as maybe the fourth, as far as playing well right now. They're up there with those teams. Fumble. Coughed it up, but they got the recovery. Patrick Queen showing his athleticism there, and it was recovered by Khalil Herbert. Right time and right place there. Good to see a stop by the Steelers. I mean, that's what they're kind of known for, right, is defense, and you don't want to see them get pumped out that side of the ball, because really it's like you got one side of the ball that's really good, Steelers offense, not so much. It's like average. And then you got Bengals offense, amazing, like the Steeler D typically, but the defense stinks. So, it's going to be kind of a battle of attrition here. Like, is the Cincinnati defense going to win this game or the Pittsburgh offense? And it's also going to be determined by the line of scrimmage as well. Field goal is up and good. 10-0 Cincy. Pretty amazing that they're able to do this with a terrible D. But it shows you how hot you can be with offense. You can still beat up on teams, even if they have a pretty good D. So that's why, Detroit and Buffalo could end up in the Super Bowl, even though those teams don't really have a defense like they did earlier in the year. Obviously, with all the injuries for the Lions, and then obviously with the Bills, they haven't really had a defense. But Josh Allen is so good on offense, like Burrow. Like, how do you stop those guys? And the answer is you don't really, unless maybe you're the Chiefs. That's like really the only team that could beat a team that has a Burrow or a Josh Allen. But maybe this is the year that things change, and maybe the offense, ends up being better than the Chiefs' defense. But I'm not so sure. It's like third down, you're number one. Defense, you're number one in a couple categories. It hasn't been sexy all year, but again, I wouldn't really go against the Chiefs. But I am kind of wanting someone new to represent. But don't be surprised if we get a rematch of the Eagles and the Chiefs. It's very possible. And then obviously the one that would be fun would be Lions, versus the Bills. But, like I said, fans, we're not going to get exactly what we want. And you never know. A wild card team like the Minnesota Vikings, depending on how they play tomorrow, they might actually be able to overachieve and make it to the NFC Championship game in the Super Bowl. I don't know if they would be good enough to win. Probably not. But again, I don't think that you can discredit Minnesota. At this point, they are playing better, than Pittsburgh or any of the other teams over there. And their defense is better than Baltimore. So I think I trust Minnesota a little bit more than I trust the Ravens. I like Lamar a lot, and I love King Henry, but the defense kind of worries me from time to time. 10-0 Bengals. We're at 11, 89 to go. Tried bringing up another Kittle there, and it rejected it. Let's see if I can for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it had a hard time loading the Iowa photo that I was going to bring up for you. See if this one will work. The system is hating on. There we go. This one came out. I don't know why the other one didn't. Appreciate you. $26 on the Blazers. That one didn't come up either for whatever reason. What's up with these George Kittle photos? It's not converting for some reason. See, I'll try another one. All right, let's see if we can get another Kittle photo up here for Sarah. It rejected 2, but then it allowed me to bring 2. Gosh, look how young he looks. He's a baby. It's like Claire is on the basketball team. George is on the football team. Man, the glory days. Look how baby-faced he is. What a G. All right, here, Steelers with the return. Jalen Warren bouncing off 1 tackle, 2 tackle, 3 tackles. And finally, the Bengals special teams gets him done. After that 64-yard punt by York, Warren for 27 yards to the 26-yard line, 27-yard line of Pittsburgh. I mean, she had that money in the bank forever. It's like about time that she cashed in. There was a lot of attempts, or fake attempts to cash in. But and I like the new the blue apron. Keeping the SmackDown theme, and it's like you want to make sure you're having the ropes a certain color, the apron a certain color. Of course, there's going to be sponsors everywhere. Moving forward for the Netflix, SmackDown, NXT, whatever. And I kind of wish they would go back to the old format of the black and yellow, yellow ropes and with the NXT vibe with the black and yellow when it was the best with Adam Cole Bay, and then SmackDown with the blue and maybe the white ropes, and then obviously doing the traditional for Raw. So first down and 10, halfback toss, Najee and stuffed, loss of a yard, second down and 11 on the Pitt 36. Not today, bots. And the bots were on full force in that Oregon-Ohio State matchup, weren't they? I don't even know how many we had. I think I had to boot out like 30, 40. I don't know. It was crazy. I mean, I'm used to a couple here and there, but that was ridiculous. Russ trying to get him to jump off sides. Russ is just too slow, too uncomfortable in the pocket. Again, it's just, third down and 11 on the Pitt 36. I mean, he needs to be able to get to the outside, and it doesn't also help that he's short. He's like 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, so it's not like he can see over the line. A guy like T-Rex is in his face. He can't see over him. You're too short. So another disadvantage, for a short quarterback. End of the first quarter, 10-0 Bengals. Russ going to Mike Williams. First down, Steelers. Nice throw. Nice catch by Mike Williams there. And, a good athlete, but his problem is he just gets hurt all the time. It's like it's really hard for him to complete a season when he's healthy. There will be times where he could be one of the top 10 receivers for like a month if you get him the ball and he's, in a groove like in years past with Herbert. But He can make a big catch here and there, but it's definitely not someone you can trust to be on the team and healthy for a whole season. But at least he's been able to help Russell Wilson make a little bit of an impact, and hopefully they can get the ball to Pickens on this drive as well. 10-0 Bengals. I thought I heard Paisley whimper by the door, but I must be hallucinating. Or maybe she was by the door and then went back to the couch. But usually I can hear her outside of the door if I don't have it fully closed. And, if it's kind of cracked, she'll come in herself. But sometimes I just try to close the door to keep it a little less loud for the rest of the house there. End of the first quarter, 10-0 Cincy. All right, let's look at some of the stats here in the first quarter. Joe Burrow, listen to this. 12 for 12. Fuck out of here. 94 yards, 1 touchdown, and no picks. Crazy. Herbert, 6 carries only for 20 yards. And then Gesicki's got 4 receptions, 33 yards. Chase, 3 receptions, 27 yards, and a tutty. And T. Higgins, 2 for 20. Wow. I knew it was a good percentage, but I didn't believe it was 12 for 12. God, Joe Burrow, you the man. Tiger King in the building. Warren up the middle for 4 yards. Second down and 6 at the Cincy 35. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Let's keep track of the likes and the donos on the stream, if we can, between Sarah and Captain. I'd appreciate it. And hopefully we'll get a little bit of a boost in volume, depending on how this game goes and what people are up to. Looks like we need 5 more to get to 10, 15 more to get to the goal. Let's get that, baby. We're 3 more to go to get to 10. We're at 7 now. And hopefully we get a few more people kind of scraggling in here by halftime. Halfback toss, short game. Bengal defense is actually kind of playing some inspired ball here today, which is a little odd, but I'll take it. 3rd down and 5. Like the Steeler defense got worse, and then the Bengal offense got just a little bit better, as well as their defense. I don't think anyone anticipated the Bengal defense doing anything today, but they're playing. They're doing better than the Steeler offense. And that might, it's going to be a line of scrimmage, O-line, D-line, who's going to win that battle. And it looks like Cincinnati's going to easily win that battle on both sides of the line. Good defense there by the Bengals, but there's a flag on the play. He hit him with the seatbelt taunt, or I locked him up. But obviously, let's see here. Oh, yeah, he's all over him. Yeah, he definitely did the seatbelt because he was all over him. That's a felony, baby. Yeah, Houston they don't even got a defense anymore. They're terrible this year. CJ Stroud went backwards. It's like you can be really good one year, but once they have a year of tape on you, sometimes, that sophomore season ends up being quite a bit of a downgrade, and then they have to work really hard to get back in that 3rd and 4th season to where they were in their rookie season if they made a name for themselves. And hopefully we can get the good CJ Stroud again, not the CJ Stroud that we saw this year. Najee putting his head down, 1st down. Steelers, move the chains, 15 yards. I wish. To the 15 for 3 yards. Move the chains. 2nd down and 7 on the Cincy 15. Not 15 yards, but on the Cincy 15. 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7. 1st down and 10. Handoff. Najee, short game. Look at those Najee numbers. 1,000 yards. But again, for a guy that went to Bama, those numbers should be doubled. He should be hitting 10 touchdowns minimum based off his skill set. But if the offensive line stinks, right, then that's going to be why that he hasn't been able to crack 10 in the last 4 years. If he actually had a good O-line, he would be able to hit 10 to 15 touchdowns every fucking year, even with splitting carries with Jaylen Warren. Tell me I'm wrong. It's not like we think Najee is an amazing running back like top 5, but if they had a better offensive line, he could be considered, borderline top 10, like number 10, number 11, number 9, right? It's like he's got enough of a skill set. If the line was good, he could end up being one of the dogs, one of the top 10 backs in the league for that particular year, but offensive line hasn't gotten any better. 3rd down and 1, trying to get that sneak, and I believe they got it. 1st down, Steelers. Yeah, they need to stop the bleeding. They need to get the 3 minimum, but based on where they're on the field, they need to punch this in. I mean, hell, if you can't punch it in against the Bengal defense, you might not be able to beat anybody in the playoffs. Texans, Chargers, Broncos, or whoever the hell they would actually match up against. But I do like T-Rex, though, so let's not act like the Bengals don't have anybody out there that can make plays. T-Rex can shut the game down on his own, just like TJ Watt, so we have to remember that, too. Audible at the line. And Najee with no gain. And, again, no offensive line, no yards. Elliott in the building, Double E, my boy. How are you, my guy? I saw one of your post on Facebook that just kind of came up into my feed and whatnot, and it made me think of you earlier today, and I hope that you're doing good with everything that's going on right now, and I miss you. Hope things are good right now for you, the best they can be, and hopefully you're able to spend some time with family and friends and whatnot, and you're able to enjoy your weekend. Oh, you've been sick. And hopefully you were able to, put the dono money for me and Reflect to good use. Hopefully you ended up using that to buy a gift for yourself or someone else, or food maybe for yourself or your friends on a little get-together. But I hope that you feel better, even though you've been sick all week. Obviously, COVID's still floating around, flus and colds. But good to hear that you're feeling a little bit better. My dog, Double E. 3rd and goal. And complete. And there's a flag. 1st and goal on the Cincy 1. They now should be able to hand it off to either Jaylen Warren or Najee Harris. If you were smart, you'd probably go Najee, even though the line stinks, and then you should be able to get it. But knowing the Steelers, who knows? Maybe they'll go Jaylen Warren with more of a burst, or it might be a QB sneak by Russell Wilson, which he's very capable of robbing fantasy touchdowns from the running backs. No snow in Oregon yet, but we are anticipating snow at some point in January or February. There it is. Touchdown, Steelers. There you go. And again, they have 3 options: Najee, Jaylen Warren, Russell Wilson. And they went with the number 1 choice and the correct choice. You got a big body, you got a big back, use him. There you go. At least make this game somewhat interesting, right? There you go. Najee letting the offensive lineman spike it there more. I like that. Chief in the building. What's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, Double E and Chief, please do. We are at, 11, 89 to go on the Dono train, and we got a 10-7 matchup. We're going to end up doing the Vikings and Lions for Sunday Night Football tomorrow, and then Monday we're going to do Monday Night Raw, the debut on Netflix. So I'm definitely excited about that. Tuesday I might do Duke basketball. Wednesday we'll probably have the day off, and then we'll get back into some other action on, I believe, Thursday. So... And Thursday will be Notre Dame, Penn State. Friday, Ohio State, Texas. So we're only going to have Wednesday off, and we're going to grind it out. So football game today, Steelers and Bengals. Tomorrow, Vikings and Lions. Monday Night Raw on Netflix on Monday. Duke basketball probably on Tuesday, Wednesday the day off, and then the college football playoff on Thursday and Friday. Thursday, Notre Dame and Penn State, dead even. Ohio State, Texas, dead even. Wish Oregon was there, but again, great matchups. But they need to figure out, the seeding. They need to figure out if they're going to have, teams playing at home in that first round. And obviously, all the teams that had a month off lost. So they need to figure that out as well to make it as fair as possible. Still a little disappointed with Oregon not being able to get it done, but I feel, they overachieved based on the offensive players that we had. We had guys that were injured, Jordan James, Tez Johnson, Evan Stewart, but we don't really have any elite offensive players like LaMichael James or DeAnthony Thomas. And if we're going to be going against top-tier teams like Texas and Ohio State, and they got Jeremiah Smith, we need to match that energy. And we are bringing in some five-star guys that are similar to Jeremiah Smith. But, if you look at Dylan Gabriel and Jordan James and Tez, they're not really NFL players. Like maybe Dylan Gabriel would be a backup, you know what I mean? But we have more defensive guys that might be able to make an impact on the NFL, on that side of the ball. But offensively, the guys are just kind of good in college, but I don't think we really are going to get anything out of those guys. And that's the reason that, we lost. The defense, wasn't good. Secondary wasn't good. Offensive line, defensive line wasn't good. And, we need to have a little bit more electric players like we did in the Chip Kelly era. And we're starting to get some of those guys that will be coming in next year and the year after. So, hopefully that we'll be able to compete on a better level. But, it shows you, with these college kids that are 18 to 22, if you have 3 weeks to a month off after the Big Ten champion, you ain't going to win a game, especially when you're going with a team that's been playing every week that's hot and in a rhythm, like Ohio State. So, I know that we're going to be able to find a way, to get it done. But I also have a really good stat for you guys too, so that way you guys can kind of understand where, we are at. It took Jim Harbaugh more than 10 years as a head coach to win his first national title. It took Nick Saban a decade, 12 years. Kirby Smart, it took 6 seasons, right? Dabo Swinney, it took 8. Ryan Day is in his 5th season, and he hasn't done it yet, but he might do it this year. So it shows you at the fastest that you can do it is around 6 years, but it could be 8 to 12. So with Dan Lanning, this is only his 3rd year. So again, hopefully we can keep progressing, and I'm hoping that we don't have to, have failure 3 more years in a row before we get to the Natty or win it. But, it shows you how difficult it is, even for elite coaches, to be a champion. And then once you become a champion, then there's going to be a good chance that you'll be able to be champion that next year or the year after based off the recruiting and you winning the Natty. But that definitely made me feel a little bit better, about everything, because we really don't have enough talent yet to hang, with some of the big boys. But again, also the seeding was kind of fucked. And also having a month off wasn't really ideal for not only the Ducks, but every team that ended up having a bye lost. So obviously there's something there. Having too much time off, it definitely is a problem. Handoff up the middle. Short game. I heard. Planes can't even get out of there for the Chiefs to go to Denver and whatnot. Wow. Foot of snow? Man, Paisley would love that. Hell yeah, dude. He's like, I'm not fucking going to work. I'm staying home. I'm gonna fucking play in the snow or play some video games. My dog. Hell yeah, man. Paisley loves the snow too. I mean, she loves the elements. It doesn't matter if it's raining or if we have fog or if we have a hail or snow. I mean, of course, we would rather have it be dry, but snow is fun for me and Paisley. We love it. First down and 5. Passing complete. Yes, Seva. Second down and 5 on the Cincy 48-49. But pretty good stat, to show like how long it really does take to be a champion in college football. Even if you're Nick Saban, even if you're Kirby Smart, even if you're one of those top guys, it takes a long time and a little bit of luck. Let's be honest. It's really tough in college football. But again, the more NFL players you have, the better that you're going to be. And also a coincidence, the SEC is no longer king, right? So now with the NIL, right, and paying players, Alabama and Georgia were illegally playing players for years. Why do you think they ended up having 30, 40, 50 NFL players and everyone else had 10 or less? No wonder they were so dominant. Saban retires, but again, if you notice, like Georgia and Bama now just kind of look average. Wonder why that is. It's because now everyone is paying players, but you were doing it illegally before, and now it shows. Now everyone else is caught up to them or past them. Alabama and Georgia are no longer the dominant teams that they were. Coincidence? I think not. It's an even playing field. That's why Saban left. If you're not going to get that illegal money coming in to pay for all those NFL players, now you can legally pay the players with NIL deals and endorsement deals. There's no more advantage for Alabama and Georgia, and it shows. But that's good for college football, right? We don't want to see the same goddamn teams over and over and over. Just, it's nice to be able to see some of the new blood come in there, even if it isn't my team. See, Texas, go a little bit further because we knew Oregon and Texas were going to take that lead after Michigan and Bama lost their coaches. Oh, he did? You send me a link? You got a link for me? Send me a link, bro, on Twitter/X or Instagram. Herbert towards the right guard for 2 yards. 3rd down and 6 on the Pitt 42, 10-7 Bengals. Yeah, I think he'll actually play decent, but you guys have so many backups playing. So again, obviously, if you had starters, it would be easier for Wentz to get the ball to those guys. But hopefully you guys have enough talent there. And obviously Denver is going to do anything and everything to try to be able to win, to be able to get in, right? So, yeah. I mean, obviously there hasn't really been too much lately. Tyler, the Creator album, Kendrick's album, and obviously if there's anything else under the radar, Elliot, we'll know about it. And obviously he's my music guy. He's like, even though our age gap, I could be like literally like a family member, like I'm as old as I could be, his dad, even though there's that age gap between the two of us, we still have like similar interest in music. And I feel that depending on what era you grew up in, whether you grew up in the 80s or 90s, or you grew up here in the, last, 2000 and beyond, there's certain styles of music that, are going to interest a lot of different people. 4th down and 1. Burrow incomplete to Gesicki. Wow. And obviously, if this is Chase Brown playing, they would have just went to him. And why did you go there when you could have went in the flat? Because they don't trust Khalil Herbert, I think. Brett in the building. What's good? Miss ya. Love ya. How are you? Turnover on downs. Good defense there by Cameron Hayward putting his hands up. Steelers trying to make a run now after a fast start from Cincinnati. Oh, really? Wow. Right. That's how I was about to ask you if they've mentioned that, because I looked at the report and it sounds like a lot of people are out, and then also people are going to be limited. First thing, they need to get the hell out of they need to get out, they need to get out of town so that way they can actually get on the plane and get out of there. But that storm, they need to get out of Denver. What's the update on that? Have they been able to get out of Kansas City yet, or is that storm still so bad that they're not able to leave the plane and take off yet? But as of an hour ago, they were still grounded, but I don't know if that's the case now. Oh, nice. Yeah. I seen your little Facebook there with the little drum in the background. You're a good mom. Obviously that'll be something that a lot of parents would have a hard time with. I imagine there's going to be times where you're going to, have to drink some wine, or put some earplugs in, or take the pup for a walk or whatnot. I mean, there's going to be some moments where it probably won't be as irritating and whatnot, but consistent drumming in the background, that could get anybody irritated at any given point, especially if you end up having a headache or a migraine. Then you're gonna have to leave the house or something. So, oh, they're in Denver. Okay, so they took off then finally. Good. Thanks for the link. Appreciate that. I'll listen to that after I'm done, obviously, here. And I got to take Paisley on a long, long walk after the game is over. But we got a good one here. 10-7 Bengals. First down and 10 for Russ. Jalen Warren, 4 yards to the Pitt 42. Second down and 6. And then we'll do Vikings and Lions. Very excited about that to see if Minnesota can do the unthinkable and win against Detroit. And then obviously if they do, that'll give more confidence to the Minnesota fan base as well as our NFL fan base in general. And then we got Monday Night Raw on Netflix on Monday. And Monday night is already over for the NFL. So we're going to be able to do Monday Night Raw on Netflix every Monday until football season if we want. So I'm excited about that. We're going to be doing a lot more wrestling. So that potentially could be 4 Monday Night Raw live stream watch parties together and then a PLE. So I'm 5 things of WWE a month. Yes, please sign me up. Wow, that's crazy. And then once football ends, we'll transition into some NASCAR in February, March Madness, obviously in March, and then baseball in April. So we're going to soak in as much football as we can, even though college football is almost over, but then it transitions into the NFL playoffs. So when one thing ends, another thing begins. Best time of the year, baby. We're at 10 more to go. NASCAR, baby. You know it, baby. I had to send you that schedule. You need to try to get to New Hampshire, baby. Yeah, and I think, I think I'm going to do some. I'll test the waters this upcoming 2025. I did it for 2 or 3 years in a row, took a year off, but I do love it. I like to have something to look forward to on Sundays when football's no longer around. And I know it's not going to be for everyone, but, I do enjoy it. It is something I watch anyways. So, I don't know how many races that I'll do, but I think that NASCAR will be on the table, once we get the season started in February. And we'll do some March Madness. Obviously, March Madness is fun. Even if you don't give a shit about college hoops during March Madness, it's fun because there's something on the line and there's a lot of chaos, right? So that'll be cool. And then obviously when we get into baseball season with the Mariners, I'm going to try to do 150 out of the 162 games, if not more. So I'm going to really be grinding away. Shit, you need to take me. Yep, absolutely. Wow, Vikings buy tickets in Detroit. Team spends nearly $2 million on a secondary market, and they're getting a lot of tickets out there. Bengals 10, Steelers 7. Started off kind of hot with the Tiger King, but now the Steelers have answered back, and the Bengal defense is, I'm not sure if they're really getting tired or whatnot, but we'll see where it goes here with 5:32 left in the second quarter. You better. I would love to be able to see that. Yeah, get your bib. Joe Burrow making the ladies drool. He's a handsome fella. And you'll have another Chase Elliott shirt coming your way at some point. I know your birthday is in May, just like me, but we might get one for Valentine's Day. 10-7 Cincy. All right, 5:32 left here before halftime. Shotgun set for Burrow. No Chase Brown here today. Tried to play during pregame warmups and said that is a no. Burrow, looking at his check down, says, no, my offensive line is actually playing pretty good today. Scrambling, gambling, making a sandwich back there. Little check down. Sample with the catch, but there's a flag on the play. That's got to be a hold on the O-line. Yeah, I think we all remember when Wentz was MVP. Yeah. Well, you already knew what it was going to be like. So at least NASCAR is like literally on next month. So, again, you already had the glory years, and no one's ever going to be able to take that away. You had a 20-year run. Most teams have like a 4 to 5 year run. Then they, either make it or they don't, and then they have to rebuild. And then you have to wait another few years, and then maybe have another 4 to 5 year run. And that's if you're a good team. If your team isn't good, then, you might have to build for like 10 years to be able to have a team that might be good for a year or two and then start over again. So I think NASCAR being next month will be perfect timing for you. But again, it'll help with the draft. And then if you can get someone, electric like Travis Hunter, a player like that, then that could put butts in the seats and, make things better for the team and make them a little bit more watchable. Shotgun set on 2nd down and 11. Burrow to the sideline. Jamar Chase. 8-yard gain. 3rd down and 3 at the Cincy 23. I remember the whole Carson Wentz thing because that was my first year on the channel. So. And I remember when I, started the channel too, I predicted that the Eagles were going to win and they were going to win big, and a lot of people laughed at me. But I was like, you watch and see, if I'm right or if I'm wrong. And then since then, Eagle fans have been riding with me since. So, they know, and again, normally I wouldn't go against a guy like Tom Brady, but just something told me, O-line, D-line, defense, that they had a shot if they played clean ball that year, and they did it. 12 noon, you know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Steeler defense waking up, finally. Preston Smith with the sack lunch. Yeah, it'll get better for you guys at one point or another, and if it's not, then you and me can just watch Chase Elliott week in and week out, and that'll hold you over for a while. Chief with a $4 holla. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to see for photos. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Every dollar counts. Help your boy out. I got to take care of the Paisley pup. Got bills to pay. Fumble. He coughed it up. Big turnover for Cincinnati. I don't know. That Red Sox might not be terrible next year. Still too early to really evaluate them at this point of the year. Nice punch out there. Great awareness. False start on Cincy after the turnover. 1st down and 15 on the Pitt 38. But we get to watch Napa know-how. And hopefully Chase will have a fantastic year. Get back into the winner's circle. Definitely excited about that. Yeah. Next year might be a different story, though. Might have been able to beat us last year here and there, but I mean, I'm not really holding my breath that management is going to make the right decisions and bringing the right players to the Mariners, but I have to have blind hope that one day that we can overachieve and get the right hitters to match our pitching staff and we can make a run for my sanity. Trips left. Shotgun set on first down and 15. Snap is high. Burrow in the pocket. Little bootleg rolling to his left, keeping his eyes downfield. Josevas with the catch. Short game. Yeah, well, again, 3-game losing streak. Offensive line stinks. Russell Wilson, not very good. Limited as a thrower. Better than Fields as a thrower. But, again, he needs to be running more bootleg instead of staying in the pocket because he's too short. He can't see over the offensive line or the D-line. And again, Russell Wilson in October and November is completely different than December, January Russell Wilson. And the way that the Steelers are playing, I don't know if they can beat anybody. I mean, the teams that they could beat are maybe Houston, maybe the Chargers, maybe, and that, maybe only beating Houston, and that's it. Like, I don't really see them beating anybody. Are you going to be able to beat Buffalo? Fuck no. Kansas City? Fuck no. Ravens? Fuck no. Like, at least at this point of the year, you don't want to be playing your worst ball. 2-minute warning, 10-7, Bengals. What do you want to see for photos, my guy? You got something in line? Yeah, he wants out, especially if they're having to bench him to discipline. So, I gotta flip on Blazers and Bucks. Dame going against his former team. So 54-51 Blazers. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, you can do anything that you put your mind to. It's all about discipline, whether that's, exercising or, trying to change negative habits into positive habits or, having a goal or a dream. It's really tough, to be able to make things happen. But again, you have to have that inner drive, to keep grinding things out if that's really what you want to do. And whatever you decide to do, if you actually buckle down and put the effort out, you can get it done. It just depends on, what that is, and again, having the discipline and holding yourself accountable, hardest thing to do in life, and sometimes you need help from friends. Sometimes you need motivation from family or, having good support from your cat or your dog, for good moral support. Like you're going to need, some help typically to get through. But if you end up going down that path, you can do it. You just got to stay disciplined and not give up if that's what you decide to do. 2nd down and 6, Burrow, little check down. I mean, shit, I've been doing this channel for fucking 12 fucking years. It seems like I'm on it now. No, 13 years. 13 years. 9 years on YouTube now. 13 years total, And I remember when I first started, I gave myself a 10-year goal. To be able to get to a point where I could maybe go full time, but I was able to go full time, in year number 6, so I was definitely blessed that I was able to get to that point, maybe a couple years early, but I definitely gave myself realistic expectations, but also knowing that how hard it was going to be, and I've had to put a lot of energy and time, and hopefully I can, be a good example for some of y'all. That if you have any dreams or goals, you see how hard I work, on the daily, and I'm nowhere near the end result or satisfied. I feel like I'm only 1% into my journey. I'm 13 years into my journey. Like, I feel that we're talented enough here, to be at one point one day, over 50,000 subs, over 100,000 subs. Now, if we go viral or if we get help from another, streamer that's bigger or however it happens, to be able to gain more subs and more of a following. But, I know my talent level and my work ethic, and, there's going to be people out there that may have more subs, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily better than me. They're just more popular. So, and that's obviously the, end goal for me, to be over 100,000. We're only at 20. So it's like, I got a long ways to go. And, again, you never really know how YouTube is going to be able to help you, or, what collabs might end up happening in the future. But, it's not like people don't know who I am. Like, just a couple days ago, we had people from Urinating Tree, who's a big Steeler fan, watching this game right now. And, he sent some of his fans over to the channel when I did Ducks in Ohio State. So, I've never talked to him personally. I know who he is. He knows who I am. But that was a kind of a nice gesture. He didn't have to do that, but that's pretty cool. A lot of times big YouTube, streamers, once, you start to see some of their fan base go to another channel, they usually get a little jaded, and whatnot, because they don't want to lose their mods or the big donators to, going to another channel and not donating to them, but you shouldn't be so insecure. If you're good at what you do, they're going to be there for you. They might, try to support another channel, but there's nothing wrong with that, especially if it's someone as worthy as me. It's not like I'm a fugazi fuck and I'm fake. I grind, I'm honest, I'm genuine, and we have a really good quality group that I'm proud of here. We eliminate the trolls and the haters, and, we have a safe space here, which you can't really say for most sports and wrestling YouTube channels. Whistle blown dead before that play. False start. Hybrid in the building. What's good? Congrats. Yeah. And unfortunately, fantasy, to get to the playoffs, it takes skill, but the playoffs themselves, pure luck. It's matchups and pure luck. I mean, that's just how it comes down to. Hell, Reflect, was 13-1. He beat the brakes off of everybody. But then, Double E beat him, as a 4 seed. So, anything can happen. It's really about matchups and luck. But again, it takes skill to be able to get to the playoffs. But once you get there, it's straight luck. Luck and matchups. Congrats, Hybrid. Second down and 12 at the Pittsburgh 26. We got trips right, shotgun set. 4 wide receiver set, 1 back. Pittsburgh showing blitz. Let's see if they fake it and go into a zone. They only rush 4. Burrow, quick throw, almost intercepted, and was it intercepted? Oh my, did he pick it? Oh my, is there a flag? Patrick Queen, a deflection interception. Wow. Wow. Intended receiver was Jamar Chase, intercepted by Bishop. Oh my. Yeah, well, that's cheating. Auto drafting is cheating because it's pretty much just letting you draft the best player in the position. So that's not a legit, player. That's someone that's lazy, that doesn't know anything about football. They auto draft. They have an amazing team that they would no way draft themselves, and then maybe getting a little bit lucky, throughout the process. But I hate players like that. Players like that shouldn't even be allowed to be in a league. It's like, that's why I don't allow trades in my league, because there's always someone that tries to rip off someone else to create a super team. Like, you want to hope that people will be honest and genuine, but there's always someone that's trying to be kind of mischievous and scandalous and trying to slide under the radar, but obviously when I was commissioner, I always see what's going on, You're not going to pull a fast one on me, trying to trade like, 3 really good players for some like dog shit player and like a backup or something. So that way someone can construct a super team while another team's already been eliminated. So. Yeah, Burrow as a quarterback has won many, many leagues for many people this year, including Zini Panini. 10-7 Bengals. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help your boy out. And we broke 20,700 a couple days ago. 97 to go to 20,800. Let's go, baby. Yeah, but also too, Zini scored the most points in the league, and you have to be scoring the most, and if you have dangerous players with high upside, and all of her players were like that. And also she did the same strategy that I kind of taught her by doing 3 players in your starting lineup: Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and picking up Chase Brown. And when all those guys hit and they're hot, you lose. I had David Montgomery, Sam Laporta, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, I fucking torched people, last year. So it's like, it's not going to work on just any team. It has to be the right team in the right year, and they have to be balling. And obviously the Bengals have no defense, but that didn't hurt Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Chase Brown this year. And that was like, if you think about it, teams that put up tipped and complete. Teams that put up, Joe Burrow numbers typically would go 12-5, 13-4. So for them to go 8-8 because they don't have a defense, if they did, they probably would have had a good chance to win the division, and they would have went 12-5 or 13-4. Because normally when you have numbers as good as Burrow and Chase Brown, that's what the numbers indicate. But it's like the first time that someone had a stat line so large and it had such a shitty record. But obviously the Bengal defense is some shit. So. And Zini always drafts rookies. She drafted in her very first year. I taught her. She drafted Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf, won the championship in her first year. And then obviously this year got Brock Bowers. And it shows you, it's like you sometimes have to take chances on rookies, but if you do and you get the right one, that could end up being the league winner for you. And it clearly has been that. Also, she's very good at getting wide receiver 2s, like Devontae Smith and Jordan Addison. And she doesn't initiate and try to, stack her team with Eagle players, even though she's an Eagle fan. She might have like 1 on her team, maybe 2 at the most. So she understands that, even if the Eagles are good, she doesn't have to try to get like every Eagle player because that might not work. So players will learn as they go. But she's definitely learned and definitely peaked. And again, she's so good that people that noticed how good she was, they don't even want her in the league. Like if it's a bunch of dudes, because they're afraid that she's going to win because she's that good. That's when you know that you've done something special. That when dudes have a league of 10 or 12 and they don't even want you to play because they're like embarrassed that a female that can win a championship over guys that have been playing for 10 or 15 years. I mean, salute to her. 10-7 Bengals. And she's the only, dual winner in our fantasy league. The only person that's won the league twice. Everyone else has won it only one time. Russell Wilson with the first down. First down, Steelers. Yeah, but if you notice, reflect, and his drafting, if you draft players well, right, and you lose some guys, during the season like Rashee Rice, but then you ended up having, like Thomas from the Jags, who could also put up like 20 points a game. You have to be able to find guys that are like under the radar, that can still put up 20 to 30 points on your bench. And that doesn't usually happen. So again, if you can, build your roster with really good backups, that will save you if you end up having season-ending injuries. Again, a lot of times with us, once you lose those big-name guys, your bench isn't as good, where instead of getting 20, 30 points, out of like Rashee Rice and CeeDee Lamb and some of these guys, and then if you go to your bench and your guys are only putting up 10 to 15, you're not going to win. You need to be able to have guys that can match your starters, and that's why it's so important, and that's why I work so hard every year where I do almost like 200 moves, because I want to have the best bench, in the entire league. I want to have that depth, and to be able to, have those options just in case. But Reflect and his son are very, very intelligent. They do the stats and analytics like I do, and, I'm not surprised. And if anything, like I predicted, I thought it was either going to be him or Zini that were going to win it, and that was well before the playoffs even started. No disrespect to Double E or Shep, but those teams weren't good enough. If you're looking top to bottom and bench, those teams didn't have the same kind of players as Reflect and Zini did, in obviously the playoff run. 47 seconds left, 10-7 Bengals. What do you want to do for photos, Chief? Yeah, that's the worst. I would hate to play in a league like that with someone like that. Doesn't even understand football, doesn't know football, just fucking auto drafts, gets lucky, and then doesn't make any moves during the season, and then just wins the championship every year or gets to the championship game. That would just drive me nuts. And here I am, making almost 200 moves while everyone else makes 50 or less. Some people in the league made like fucking 15 or less. I don't even know how the fuck you guys do that. But again, that can work if your starting lineup doesn't get hurt all year. But what are the chances of that, happening? And it happened with Zini. She only made like 15, 20 moves all year, but the only person she lost was Pacheco for like a month and a half, and that was it. Everyone else was healthy. So she got extremely lucky with no season-ending injuries on her roster, and that's why she won. A little bit of luck, Like, think about all of our teams and how many injuries that we had. She literally had one injury. One. And it didn't even affect her because she already had James Cook and other guys. So it just like didn't even fucking matter. It didn't even affect her whatsoever. That's luck. Oh, they had him short of the marker. Fourth down and 1. After a strong start for Cincinnati to start the first quarter, Pittsburgh fired back. It shows you, like you can't trust Pittsburgh because if like Cincinnati has no defense besides T-Rex and you can only put up 7, who the hell are they going to beat in the playoffs? Houston, that's it. And they might not even be able to beat them. I mean, it depends on what CJ Stroud we get. Yeah, mine was more of just, bad drafting for the first time in my life and then injuries. But, it's like if you don't have consistent quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end play, I can't have 4 positions out of 9 unreliable. Even with my backups, it's like, and pretty much everyone that drafted Christian McCaffrey got fucked, but it was more than that for me. I mean, it was many. Hell, I couldn't even use Sam Laporta. I had to get rid of him. I mean, I ended up getting a lot of other studs later, like Jonnu Smith and Mark Andrews, Njoku at the very end when Reflect dumped him, but it's like shit, man. It's like I thought Sam Laporta would be the same Sam Laporta from the previous year. I didn't think that they would just not get him the ball. I mean, I can't score 4 points a week out of Laporta thinking that, I'm going to win. And then it's like he's such a big name. Can you bench him? And that fucking hurt. Lots of things hurt, but gosh, man. No Cooper Kupp, no McCaffrey, no reliable quarterback. no reliable tight end. I mean, it was just a recipe for disaster in fantasy for me. But again, I'm not going to do it next year. Will I do it again? Yeah, I'll probably do it again, but I got to take a year or two off, clear my head, and I want to be able to enjoy football, not having to worry, about my fantasy team fucking letting me down. Yeah, I mean, Mahomes is, obviously, stat-wise this year, yeah. But if it's a fan vote, right, just like in the NBA and some of the other things, that sometimes you're going to get the popular guys in, but they don't deserve it. And there's going to be guys that are hella deserving, that aren't going to be able to be in there. But then you'll have to wait to see what guys decline it, But Pro Bowl doesn't mean shit. It's all about all pro. And we don't even have a fucking Pro Bowl anymore, so it doesn't even fucking matter. They do these dumbass games that no one even fucking watches. I mean, maybe some of y'all watch it, but I'm not going to watch that shit. That's not worth my time. I mean, I love the NFL, but stupid goofy-ass games and then doing the flag football bullshit and then doing the, fucking two-hand touch before they, decided to get rid of the Pro Bowl. Like do the Pro Bowl in Hawaii and have them fucking mash each other like they used to when it actually meant something and it was good. Burrow to Jamar Chase there, short game. 2nd down and 4 on the Pitt 31. 85 to go. Let's get there, baby. And we're at 11. 9 more to go. I mean, hell, the MLB All-Star Game is the best out of all 4 major sports, but they even fucked that up, right? With the fucking home run derby, changing the rules. That was stupid. It's like, don't change something if it's working, The NBA is atrocious because they don't even, play defense in the All-Star Game. I'll still watch it, but again, doing like rookie sophomores, USA International used to be good. Now they do these stupid 3-on-3, 4-on-4 tournaments. Dumb. The dunk contest doesn't even have the best dunkers in it. Dumb. Like, the best thing about it is the 3-point contest and the skills competition, and that's it. Like, NHL All-Star Game is pretty good, but again, they've changed some rules. It's like, I don't know who they're trying to cater to, like little kids or whatnot, but, I feel like All-Star festivities have gone way downhill compared to back in my childhood when they were actually good. First down, Bengals. First down and 10 on the Pitt 27. But still, I enjoy the MLB All-Star Game. That by far is the best. Regardless if you love baseball or you don't, they try from beginning to end. There's true effort there, and you can't really say that about any of the others. Maybe NHL number 2, and obviously we don't have a Pro Bowl anymore in the NBA All-Star Game. If you like no defense and alley-oops and dunks, it's great. But for some of us, we would rather see them actually try. Like, if they actually tried and played defense the whole game and the game ended up being like 102-100, that would be fire. It doesn't have to be 198 to 174, And people wonder why the NBA ratings are going lower and lower and lower every year. Terrible product. Burrow, floater. Whoa, T. Higgins. Let's go. Nice job, T. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, Lamar is great. Josh Allen is great. Saquon will win, Offensive Player of the Year. That's going to be a tough one. I assume that even if Lamar is worthy, that it'll go to Josh Allen, this year. Since Lamar's already had it. So I think it'll probably go Josh Allen, even though Lamar is deserving. He's amazing, right? He can run, he can throw. He's doing things at the quarterback position running-wise that we've never seen before. He's going to be a guy at one point that will, throw for 5,000 yards and run for 1,000 or more. Doing 800 plus is one thing, but Lamar could do 1,000. Like, if he really wanted to, Lamar could probably throw for like 60 fucking touchdowns and run for like 1,500. Some of the other guys wouldn't get the ball, and they might not win every game. But I mean, if he wanted to be a selfish player, he could be. But I think that Lamar is deserving, but I assume that Allen will be MVP, and I think Saquon will get Offensive Player of the Year. I think that's the way that it'll probably go. Just based on just based on how these voters vote. But remember, they don't always get it right? Like, Pro Bowl, a lot of times that's not the right person that's there. All pro means something, but again, it all depends on who's voting. Is it fans? And are these fans educated, or they're fucking stupid? Are they just bandwagon and they're just voting for their guy? There's no point. Like Mahomes shouldn't even be anywhere near a fucking Pro Bowl, based on his stats this year. No way in hell, But again, it all depends if you're like a homer or not. It's like your team is still good enough to win the Super Bowl, but you don't need to get all the accolades just because you're the Chiefs and you're Mahomes. You have to earn it, right? You want to earn those. You want to make sure that people are getting their spot there. Jamar Chase right out of his hands and complete. 4th and goal. They're going to have to kick a field goal here. And I know that, Hybrid, you're a Ravens fan, but I feel like Lamar is likable, but Josh Allen is a little bit more likable than even Lamar, unless you're a Raven fan, then obviously, or, you're a Bill fan. But if it's just like outsider looking in, it's like Lamar's already gotten it. Allen has had a great year. Obviously, James Cook has been that extra piece. And again, Lamar in the postseason typically chokes. And hopefully that's not the case this year. But again, the defense has gotten worse. So we'll see. We know Lamar can, put the Ravens on his back, but it's like, he's a great regular season player, but typically when it comes to the playoffs, he doesn't play as good. So hopefully that narrative will change. Same thing with like Josh Allen. It's like, you're good in the regular season, but then, the Chiefs have been like the dog. So it's like someone's got to fucking beat them. Ravens or the Bills. Like, someone's got to be able to take the spot from them. But as long as you are the top dog, like the Patriots were for 20 years, again, and then the Chiefs were, the team that everyone wanted to win as the underdog, if you're good enough, long enough, you eventually turn into the villain. And that's why the Chiefs are the villain now, not just because of Taylor Swift or Mahomes and Kelsey. It's just the greatness of what they have. And then they never really had ref help until this year. And obviously that's getting people irritated. Last year it was Taylor Swift. But at the end of the day, they're not flashy. They're not blowing anybody out, but they're winning. And, you can't hate on that. They won with Tyreek. They won without Tyreek. They won with Bieniemy. They won without Bieniemy. They won with, a good defense and a shitty offense, possibly this year. Like, they're able to win in multiple ways. And I know it makes people sick if you're not a Chief fan, but that's just the reality. They have the best, coaches and the discipline, and they get the most out of their mid players. The lower name mid players, the Chief organization gets the most out of those lower tier guys, and that's why they win. It's like Jordan when he was playing. He would make Paxson good, B.J. Armstrong good, Horace Grant. He made fucking Bill Cartwright look good. Like, Stacey King. Like, you get guys that if they were on other teams, we wouldn't even talk about them. But if you get a superstar that can make other guys look better, the Chiefs are the best in the league at that. Like, if you look at all the Noah Grays and the Justin Watsons, if those motherfuckers were on different teams, we wouldn't even talk about them. But again, it's the coaching and the discipline. And I feel like that is the best in the league for them. And that's why they've been able to accumulate the record that they have. And that's why they're so fucking hard to beat. If like you're a Raven fan or a Bill fan or a Steeler fan or a Bengal fan, it's just, it shows you like how good you have to be to beat that team. And you know what the reality is? The only way that you're going to be able to beat them at some point, if they still win again this year, you're going to have to wait for the Big Five to break up. Andy Reid, Spags, Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones. You have to, have some of those guys disappear. And once it goes from the big starting 5 to 3, then you might be able to take advantage, whether they're there or not. But as long as they have those 5, AFC is, going to run through them. But maybe this is the year that Lamar has the magic, or maybe Josh Allen and James Cook have the magic. But just imagine you finally beat Mahomes, whether you're Josh Allen or the Bills or Lamar and the Ravens, and then you end up playing the Lions, Eagles, or Vikings, and then you lose. Could you imagine that? So, just because you get past the Chiefs doesn't mean that you're going to, go all the way. Eagles could go all the way. Lions could go all the way. I don't know about Minnesota, but, we'll see what they look like tomorrow. And their defense has been, top 2, top 3, top 4 all year. So Van Ginkel is a stud. Sam Darnold is kind of hit or miss, but as of late, he's been pretty hot. and they have a lot of weapons. But again, how do they play against the Lions? How do the Minnesota Vikings play against the Eagles? And then we'll be able to figure out, are they just a flash in the pan? Or are they legit the fifth best team, in the NFL right now? Right? You got the Lions, Eagles, Vikings. That's it, right? And then on the AFC side, Chiefs, Bills. That's it. And then now maybe the Ravens. It was the Steelers about a month and a half ago, but no longer. Ravens have leapfrogged them. So if there's a power six, those are your six, three on each side. But I don't really know about Ravens and Minnesota. A lot would have to happen for those two teams to make it to the Super Bowl. So, halftime, 13-7, Cincy. I just keep it honest and real, which I'm never going to be Buccaneer biased. I'm never going to be NFC biased. I'm just going to call it right down the middle. And that's the difference between my channel and everyone else. They all have a narrative like they do on TV where they're going to say, oh, this because it's my team or my players. I could give two fucks, about, oh, the Buccaneers are going to go all the way or we might get smashed in the first round. Like, it's nice to see Baker Mayfield play well, but we don't have a defense. So if the Bucs make the playoffs, we probably can't even win a game. But if we do, we might only be able to win like one. But then that would mean like Baker and Mike Evans and Bucky would have to go off and the defense would have to like show up. But I have a lot of injuries on that side of the ball. So, I have to keep it honest. But there are some Buck fans out there that are delusional thinking that, they're going to make it to like the NFC Championship game. But, that's them and not me. So. They got a good record against Buffalo, head-to-head with Burrow, but I don't know if I would say that they would beat them for sure. It would be a good game. They both don't have defense, but I think, based on both teams not having defense, you probably trust the Bills' defense slightly more than Cincinnati besides T-Rex, but we'll see how it goes. But I think right now, the Bengals are like Michigan. They're the hottest team with a shit record right now. So it's like if you're the Bills, and you're the Chiefs and the Ravens, the last fucking team that you want to see is Cincinnati because they're so good with Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Chase Brown, right? That's just facts. You can have a record of 9-8, but we've been watching them, and they've been very, very good as of late, just like when Michigan beat Ohio State and then beat Alabama. Sometimes, it's about who's playing ball right now. It's not who you play, but it's when you play them. So it's like you could have beat them earlier in the year, but how is the team playing right now? Bengals early on, terrible. But right now, they're the team that nobody wants to fuck with. And legitimately, even with no defense, without T-Rex, they could upset the Bills. They could upset the Chiefs. They could upset the Ravens. And that's something that we can all agree on if you've been watching Cincinnati play this year, right? It's not like, oh, you're crazy. There's no way. If you've watched them play, their offense has been as good as anybody. Honestly, Burrow and Chase have been the best duo in the league, right? Chase Brown has been amazing. With him and Zach Moss. Zach Moss got hurt. He ended up being the lead back. They still got Khalil Herbert as a third option. So, and the one thing that nobody's really talking about is that Bengals O-line. Because if the O-line was terrible, like the Steelers O-line, we wouldn't be talking about the Bengals right now because he would be getting sacked lunch. Maybe one of the guys is hurt. Burrow would not have the stat line that he has. And sure as hell, Chase Brown and Jamar Chase wouldn't have numbers that they have this year if the O-line was bad. So I think that even though the defense is terrible, they can't stop a nosebleed. The O-line for Cincinnati hasn't got credit all year, but I'll give them credit right now because that's the reason why they're at where they're at right now, even though their record, says 8-8. But when we watch them, what do they look like? They look like a team that's 12-4 right now. They don't look like a team that's 8-8. So. Reflect in the building. What's good? Yep. And so remember, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. Yeah, but you said a key word right there. What's the key word that you wrote here? Almost. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Almost don't mean shit unless you actually do it. You know what I mean? Now, if the Chiefs actually had Jesse Bates III and they had a good defense, then there would be more confidence there. But the thing is, we all want someone new, unless you're Chief Will Chief or Odin's son, who's in the room now, right? So, Chief fans know what their team is. But the thing is, if you have discipline, you don't make mistakes, you're number one in third down, and you arguably got the best defense, and you know what I mean? Like, we can all wish or hope at one point, unless you're a Chief fan, for some other team to make it, but again, you have to be able to beat a team that has got the discipline. And even though some of the players haven't played up to their potential, Mahomes, Kelsey, the offense in general, you know what I mean? But again, third down, number one, right? Defense, number one in a couple categories. You got Andy Reid, you got Spags. They're the most disciplined team in the NFL. And if they didn't have the discipline and they were getting a bunch of false starts and, illegal motions, illegal shifts, shooting themselves in the foot, they wouldn't have one loss right now. They would have 4 or 5. They still would be a good team, but they wouldn't be a 1 seed. And then maybe the league has to go through Buffalo instead of going through Kansas City. But again, if you're good enough, long enough, eventually you'll become the villain. But again, you can want, the Bengals to be able to beat the Chiefs. You could want the Bills to do it. You could want the Ravens to do it. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why they're there every single year, just like with the Patriots. Discipline, 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 and you got to have a defense. And that's one thing that they have in common. Patriots had a top 10 defense. Chiefs now, in the last couple of years, top 10 defense, sometimes playing top 5, top 2, top 3, and it's all about how you're playing right now. So, we'll see how it goes, but, I wouldn't be counting out, some of the dogs that are there. Like, I know everyone wants, that aren't Chief fans. They want Detroit and Buffalo so we can score, 44-41 in the Super Bowl. But again, don't be surprised if it ends up being Eagles-Chiefs again, because that might be the most plausible outcome. The outcome that others want are the Lions and the Bills because they want points and someone new, But again, we'll have to kind of wait and see. And then you got like the Ravens and Minnesota, the purple teams that are kind of like, they're the third best, but can we trust them in the playoffs? Minnesota's got a better defense than the Ravens, right? But the Ravens got Lamar compared to Sam Darnold. But again, can we trust these guys, Lamar, and Darnold in the playoffs? And we don't know. That's why we have to be able to wait and see. You can look great during the regular season, but if you nut up and you choke in the postseason, eventually that narrative is going to carry with you. So. We're at 15, 85 to go, 13-7 Bengals. But, that's kind of my, feeling on it. It's like I know a lot of people want to be able to see someone new, but again, you have to look at the intangibles, O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, play calling, and that's really what matters, not necessarily quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end play. You have to win the line of scrimmage, just like in college football or any, type of league that you're watching. You got to win the O-line and the D-line game. But then on top of that, right, you got to be able to be efficient. And again, sometimes we get to see the same teams over and over again. But defense wins games, defense wins championships. And, it would be very hard pressed to think that we're not going to get the Eagles and Chiefs or at least one of those teams. I know everyone wants the Lions and the Bills, but just because you want it doesn't mean that you're going to get it. So, yeah, I definitely think the Lions, they can make it. They've already proven, that they'll go for it on fourth down. They've been getting some good results out of Branch and Kirby Joseph. So it's not like every single, player that is meaningful is injured on the defense for the Lions. They still have a couple dogs out there that can make plays. So. (13-7) Cincy. I mean, like I said, dark horse, Super Bowl would be Ravens on the AFC, Vikings in the NFC. I don't think we can say anybody else, just those two teams. That's it. And then obviously the contenders, the real deal Holyfield, right? Bills, Chiefs, right? Eagles, Lions. Those are the main four. And then you got the two kind of like, sleeper teams. So $3 holla. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. Let me know what you want to do photo-wise, if you want to do Hawks or another player. I'm going to go over the stats here real quick. All right, let's look at the Tiger King. He started off 12 for 12 in the game today, 21 for 27, 153 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Khalil Herbert with no Zach Moss, obviously injured, and no Chase Brown. He tried to go in pregame and couldn't do it. 9 carries, 27 yards, but if they had Chase Brown, he probably would have 100 and at least a tutty by now. Jamar Chase, 5 receptions, 41 yards and a tutty. T. Higgins, 3 receptions, 38 yards. Gesicki, 5 receptions, 38 yards. And then Khalil Herbert, 4 receptions for 14 yards. And then on the flip side, pull up a photo here of the Steelers. See if I can get one of Danger Russ or Pickens here. Let's get somebody. Went for 3 Russell Wilson photos, and all of them said, nope, we're not converting. All right, 4 of them. All right, I'm going to have to go George Pickens then. No one wants to see his photo anyways. I was just trying to do him a solid. All right, let's take a look at the Steelers. Russell Wilson, 4 for 8, 45 yards. That's it. 4 for 8. That's not going to win you a game, let alone win you a playoff game. Najee Harris, 9 carries, 35 yards and a tutty. Jalen Warren, 5 carries for 12 yards. Russell Wilson, 2 carries for 1 yard. Mike Williams, 1 reception for 25 yards. Pat Freiermuth, 2 receptions for 20. George Pickens, nothing. So it's like, you're very limited there on what you can do. But we do have a game that is still in reach for the Steelers. 13-7 Cincinnati. No, I was going to wait till tonight. I didn't get a chance to watch that yet. People have been sending me different links, of music and wrestling and a little bit of everything, but I have not got a chance to watch that yet, but I will tonight, I promise. All right, here we go. Second half. So I got the music in the background at a 40. Is it too loud for you guys back there? I used to have it like at a 60. Then I changed it to a 50 like about 3 months ago. Now I got it at a 40. Is it at like, you can hear it, but I don't want it to be like too loud. But I usually just have it so there's something there in the background. But you guys let me know if it's at a good volume, because I want to try to keep it at a certain volume, moving forward. If you guys, like I said, if you guys can, in the studio, if you can hear the game, that's one thing. But again, if you can't hear it and I can only hear it on my end here, I want to make sure that there's something there for you guys just to have in the background. Najee Harris there for a 4-yard loss by Pratt. 2nd down and 14 on the Pitt 26. Okay, because I think that being at 40 is perfect. I think 50 might have been too loud for some people, but I think 40 is perfect, where you can kind of hear it, but it's not like overbearing. 2nd down and 14. We're in the third quarter here. 13-7 Bengals. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And we'll have either Sarah or a captain keep track of the likes as well as the dono train. Little check down there to Najee for 6 yards. 3rd down and, what is it, 6 or 3rd and 8? I think it's 3rd and 8. Yeah. Russell Wilson pass incomplete to Austin, 4th down. And again, I feel like Russ was pretty good in like October, November, but again, he can't move the ball. I would put in Justin Fields. Like, I think Justin Fields can't throw either, but at least he can run away and get first downs. And I think that if you play Justin Fields, you have a better chance of winning this game. Like, Russ looked good, in like October and November, but in December, January, the offensive line has gotten progressively worse, and his play has gotten progressively worse with that. Is that a coincidence? Obviously it links together. If your O-line isn't good, then you're not going to have time to go through your progressions. Like George Pickens is almost a non-factor, just like when Fields was at quarterback. You got to get Pickens the ball. Steelers with the punt. Because again, Pittsburgh right now, the way that they're playing, trying to get off this 3-game skid, I don't know if they can beat anybody. Really the only team that I think that they could beat is maybe Houston. I don't think you can beat anybody else. Like if Denver made it, I don't know if you could beat them. Chargers, I don't know. Don't think so. Like I said, regardless if you're at home or on the road, like there's supposed to be an advantage when you're at home, but I don't feel it. Like you don't feel that intensity. The towels aren't waving. Like it just feels like you're playing in a game, but the crowd is not into it. They definitely need to upgrade the position. Like Russ and Fields are not good enough to be the quarterback for Pittsburgh long term. If you want to be able to try to get to the AFC Championship game or Super Bowl, you might be able to make the playoffs, but what are you going to do when you get there? Yes. Yeah. Injuries on that line. Yeah. And Notre Dame actually will have a chance, against Penn State, just like Texas and Ohio State. It's dead even, 50-50. Notre Dame and Penn State, even matchup, 50-50. And Notre Dame is like kind of easy to root for. When they had Brian Kelly, he's kind of a garbage coach. He's one of those guys that would just yell and scream and get purple, and it didn't make Notre Dame likable. But with Marcus Freeman, with that swag and being young, like Notre Dame is like likable again, like when they had Lou Holtz back in the day. But it's taken a long time to go from like Lou Holtz to this now. But like I feel like Notre Dame is now like a fun, likable team. When Brian Kelly was there, that was not a good fit. He was just a coach, but not very good. It's like we remember him at LSU, we remember him at Notre Dame, but maybe one of the more overrated coaches. Not a good, player developmental kind of guy, just kind of a guy that would scream and yell and whatnot. And he seemed kind of fake to me. Like, he didn't seem really genuine and honest, and, good thing for them to move on. And I really like Marcus Freeman, and this won't be the last time that we hear about Notre Dame in the future. Well, Steelers are on a skid right now, so, and again, offensive line isn't good, and, it's not like you've been able to get good numbers. Like Najee hasn't even been able to get 10 touchdowns in a season in the last 4 years because that O-line stinks, I mean, like I said, it should kind of make sense, especially for like Captain and Reflect and Megan and others. Like when you watch Seattle, if your offensive line is good, you'll be able to, see that progression. But if your O-line doesn't get improved, yes, the quarterback and the offense will have some games where they blow up and do well if the D-line doesn't bring pressure. But then if you end up playing a team that actually has a decent D-line or defense, you're going to be really limited in what you can do. And the Bengals defense stinks, but T-Rex can kind of change the game by himself, just like TJ Watt on the other side. And the Steelers have definitely been reeling, on the defensive side, and their O-line is terrible. Burrow. T. Higgins with the catch. First down, Bengals. Move the chains. And we're going to be doing the Vikings and the Lions tomorrow. Monday Night Raw on Netflix on Monday. Probably Duke basketball on Tuesday. Wednesday we'll have the day off. And then Thursday and Friday is the college football playoff. So we're going to have a lot of fun here in the next 7 days. Besides the day that I have off on Wednesday where I'll just have a day with Paisley. And, I ended up, walking into like the richest neighborhood in my area, which takes about maybe 10, 15 minutes to walk. And you have to go up this really, really big hill. It's called Murray Hill. And man, the size of these houses, I just wanted to go up there with Paisley last night just to kind of check it out. Golly. I mean, it seems like it's something out of a fucking movie. Like 3-4-story mansions, like just crazy stuff, man. But Paisley had a good time, and maybe we'll do that again today. Shotgun set. Burrow. Yeah, not only am I stoked about Monday Night Raw on Netflix, I'm stoked because Monday Night Football's over. So now we can just do this until football season. So like we can do potentially 4 Raws, in a month, and the PLE, unless it's on at like a weird time or overseas. But that'll get us more likes, more subs, more wrestling fans that we already have. And, it'll be nice to be able to, try to grow that side, of the channel and get more wrestling fans here on Mondays, as well as when we do the pay-per-views or the PLEs. First down and 10, Burrow. Jamar slips on that turf there and gets thrown backwards. 7-yard gain, second down and 3 on the Pitt 31. Oh, he's trying to win the Triple Crown, baby. Look at the receptions. Look at the TDs and the yards. When you have yards like that and you have Burrow, like I said, most teams end up having like a 12-5 record, 13-4, not 8-8. It's a very weird year. It's like the first time that you've had dominant numbers by a quarterback and a receiver and an awesome running back in Chase Brown, where they're only 8-8. Normally, when you have numbers like that out of Burrow and Chase, you're 12-4, 12-5 at this point. 13-4, something of that nature. Like they showed all the quarterbacks that have had numbers like that in the past, like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, all those guys. And this is the only team that didn't have like a good record based off those numbers. But obviously a lot of that has to do with the defense. 5 more likes at 20. Let's get there. And we're at 18:78 to go. Let's get there, baby. Man in motion, shotgun set, Burrow. There's Jamar Chase, just short of the marker, 9-yard gain, second down and 1 on the Pittsburgh 19. The Tiger King, he's pretty good. Maybe the most likable quarterback that's not on your favorite team in the league right here. I know Josh Allen rubbed people kind of the wrong way early in his career, but I think when we saw Burrow in college and then obviously transitioning with Jamar on the Bengals, he's probably the most easily likable quarterback superstar in the league. They just need to be able to beef up that defense if they want to be able to get back to the Super Bowl again. Herbert, run for 6 yards. First down, Bengals. Move the chains. Lots of storms there in the Midwest. Stay safe out there. Me and Reflect aren't getting snow just yet, but I assume Oregon and Washington will get it at some point in January or February. But it's going to be nowhere near, you guys in the Midwest or the East Coast. Shotgun set, Burrow, quick snap. Sample is there, short gain of 2, second down and 8 on the Pittsburgh 11. Burrow short to Herbert for 5 to 6 yards, third down and 2 on the Pittsburgh 5. Yeah, I mean, I'll love it when we get it, as long as I, have my supplies that I need to keep streaming and just to do my routines and whatnot, making sure I have the proper fruit for Paisley and dog food and all that. But we love being able to mob around in the snow. Tiptoeing in my Jordans, tiptoeing down the sideline there by Khalil Herbert, third string running back. Zach Moss obviously out, so he's been promoted to second string, and no Chase Brown. But again, if Chase Brown was playing, the game would be like 20-7 right now, at least, maybe even 23-7. It's not like Herbert's bad, but he ain't Chase Brown. They're down in 2. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Burrow says, hike it. Avoids a sack lunch. Look at the footwork, but there's nowhere to go. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. If he would have forced that, that would have been a pick. and he is down with turf in his helmet. I hope he's okay, because that was a hard hit. Hopefully he's not concussed. But he's got a big divot of grass there, and hopefully he doesn't have a shoulder or neck issue. Come on, Tiger King, get up, baby. But a big, big body of Cameron Hayward slamming his head into the fucking turf there, as you can see. Hope he's okay. Prayers up to the Tiger King. This is kind of wild. Like, doesn't it seem like Joe Burrow has been in the league a lot longer? Like, he's been such a professional since day one. The jersey says 2020, and it's 2025 now, but it feels like Burrow's been in the league for like 8-9 years, doesn't it? You know, just based on his maturity and his skill set. Like, it's just kind of crazy to think that this was just a couple years ago. And I know we just turned into 2025 instead of 2024, but still kind of crazy. Like, he just has been in this league for a few years, but he definitely feels like he's been in the league longer. Prayers up for the Tiger King. Let's see, what do we got? So for college hoops, number 1 Tennessee and number 5 Florida, or no, number 6 Florida. 1 versus 6 plays at 4 o'clock, and then you also have Duke and Pitt that play at 4. And then Kentucky also plays at 4, so there'll be a couple options if I decide to do college hoops on Tuesday. But Wednesday, we're going to have the day off. I haven't had a day off in a minute, so... but we're going to be busy. Football today, football tomorrow, Vikings and Lions, Monday Night Raw on Netflix, probably doing Duke on Tuesday possibly, if not day off, Wednesday day off, and then Thursday, Friday, college football playoff. Doesn't get any better than that. Notre Dame, Penn State on Thursday, and then Friday, Ohio State and Texas. Wow. Fucking pancaked the shit out of him because he got fucking pancaked on the offensive line, and then that led to that big sack lunch. Burrow in the medical tent. I hope he's all right. Burrow is a tough son of a bitch, though. You know, he ain't soft. Like, you know, he'll take a lick and get back up. You know, as long as something isn't broken. Herbig with that big pressure there with Cameron Hayward. May not be the same player as he was a few years ago, but still a decent defender. 35-yard try. Snap is good. Kick is up. And it's good. 16-7. Cincy. Hell yeah. No time restrictions on Raw. And it'll be a little bit more not PG. There's going to be a little bit more that they're allowed to say and do. More swearing, more controversial content. It may not be like the Attitude Era with Vince, but they'll definitely push the boundaries, you know, on certain things. But I'm excited, man. It gives us something to do on Mondays. And I've always wanted to do like a Raw or a SmackDown on top of the pay-per-views, but you know, we just didn't really have the ability to do that, to get everyone in like one location. But now with it being on Netflix, a lot of people have Netflix, so this will be an easy transition for us, and I think it's going to do very, very well for streamers, and it'll bring us wrestling fans together. So I'm excited. And Raw's been good. It's one thing if it goes to Netflix and wrestling is like okay, but it's actually been very, very good, obviously in this new regime after Triple H took over. So everything is really coming together now. 16-7 Bengals. All right, Russ. Can you complete a pass? Can you get a first down? I don't know if there is anything dangerous about you anymore. Handoff. Jalen Warren almost a first down. Gain of about 9 yards. 2nd down and 1 on the Pitt 39. Yeah, but they had Ben Roethlisberger, and they haven't been able to replicate that since, and that's a big thing. Kenny Pickett? Nope. Russ? Nope. Justin Fields? Nope. You're going to need a Ben Roethlisberger type, but you got to build that fucking O-line, just like the Hawks. You don't build the O-line, you're only going to get so far. Second down and 1, handoff. There's Najee. First down, Steelers. Gain of 3. First down and 10 on the Pittsburgh 42. The Steeler offense is so limited with the bad O-line play. It almost feels like Justin Fields is the quarterback still. You got a boost early on, but the offensive line has progressively gotten worse and worse here in December and January. It looked good, in October, November when Russ took over, but December and January have not been kind to them. Halfback toss, little cutback. Najee trying to do some shimmies and shakes, but you don't really have the speed or the agility for that. Short game, 2-yard gain, 2nd down and 8 on the Pittsburgh 44. '17th in PFF the last 10 years. Most were in the bottom 7, second worst, yeah. And I think the game that really exploited everything was that Packer game. Nothing has looked worse than anything than that game. So again, in this McDonald regime, you just have to hope that they're better evaluators at certain positions, than the Pete Carroll era. Because obviously they had terrible offensive line evaluators, and hopefully they can, fix that. We already know he's a defensive specialist, so he should be able to get it going on that end of the ball. And there has been some improvement, with Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams. So you've seen some additions that have made a difference. But gosh, man, O-line play is so fucking important. I hate seeing teams that get beat up with no O-line. There's, like I said, having no defense hurts, but not having an O-line is like the literally worst thing that you could have on your football team. Like not being able to stop a nosebleed is one thing, like the Bengals, but not being able to, run your offense at all, and sometimes getting embarrassed, not being able to run or pass or, protect your quarterback or to be able to open up holes for your running back, let the plays develop for your receivers and your tight ends. And hopefully the Hawks will be able to get, a whole brand new offensive line and eventually a Brock Bowers type of tight end as well. They will need that at some point. Yeah. Okay, I feel better, my guy. Appreciate you, Odin. That's my boy. Must be the luck of the Irish. Russ, going deep, Pickens. And normally Pickens catches that. Incomplete. But again, you got to give him more opportunities. Pickens is an immature player, but he's got talent as of a top 5 or top 10 receiver. But again, you have to get him involved in the games and get him the ball often. Otherwise, he quits on plays. And again, we've had certain guys like that in the past, like Randy Moss, when he was on the Raiders, he took off plays. And sometimes if you're in a bad situation and you're immature, you need to be able to be surrounded around leaders that you respect. And I have a feeling that Pickens doesn't respect anybody on this team, even Mike Tomlin. He just seems kind of like, just an immature player, an incredible athlete, incredible hands, incredible route runner, but again, undisciplined and immature.
And it's kind of sad to see when you see a guy that could be a top 5 receiver in this league, like a Garrett Wilson, but if you don't have a good quarterback, you're never going to live up to your potential unless he bitches and whines and moans and gets his way out of there, like as a trade. I don't want to play on this team anymore or whatever, and then try to find a better situation. So reflect with a $2 holla. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. It is January, which means it is Hershey cocoa season. I had a cocoa today, and I even had a lemon tea. 2 things that I normally don't have, but we're in that season where it hits really well. Highly recommend. If you haven't had a lemon tea in a while or at all, try it. And if you haven't had a cocoa in a while, do it. Telling y'all. We're at 20, 80 to go. Reflect isn't asking for any photos based off his donos, but we can still, I don't need to be told what to put up. I can just do it, while we have a commercial break. A little Gino, little JSN. Appreciate you. Try to make the most out of every single minute that we have. Oh, awesome. And I know you've been walking more and, losing weight. I'm proud of you. Yeah, they have like honey lemon or just lemon tea, and, my family will usually be drinking that on the daily. I don't do it often, but, the smell of it after going on like a long walk in the cold and getting the vapors in your nose and then the taste of it, it's undefeated. Like, I think even the tea is better than cocoa. Like, cocoa is like kind of a nice treat, but the tea is like healthy for you and it's good for you. And I feel like the tea has more of a positive, lasting impact, as being something healthy that tastes good and smells good. Cocoa is just kind of more, like chocolatey treat, marshmallows are not, which is also a good thing when it's cold outside too, though. STL in the building, what's good? 16-7, Cincy. They missed the 3 at the buzzer that would have tied it. Yee! Go Blazers. Yeah, green tea, matcha, there's all, like I said, I feel like, once you get to a certain age, you start to appreciate things that maybe you didn't appreciate when you were a little bit younger. It's like once you hit 30 and up, and 40 and up, certain things, are more of a priority. You understand that, your body, to keep your body in a good weight and being healthy is harder. You have to put in more effort on what you put into your body food-wise and the exercise that you do. But I think that I'm going to start to get into a kind of a regular routine of more of the like honey lemon tea. I like the way that it smells. I like the way that it tastes, and it makes me feel good. And there's not too many, things that are like a drink that is healthy for you that, you feel like a different person after you drink it. You feel good. Sample with the little short gain. 3rd down and 1 on the Cincy 36. Yeah, I think you and me both. You and me both. But again, a lot of steamed vegetables. I mean, and what's crazy? Once you start to change your diet and eat healthy, your body starts to reject the bad food. Like, it's like I want hamburgers and tacos and pizza, but like after I eat it, my body rejects it. Like it doesn't, it's not like I'm on the toilet and I'm sick, but I can definitely tell that, I don't get like Taco Bell effects when I eat something like that, where I'm like, I'm on the toilet or I'm sick or, there's going to be an issue here. I'll be back in a half hour. Like, but I can definitely tell after eating healthy, it's like, I like to have my cheat meal here and there, but I can definitely tell that like how it's working in my stomach and how I feel, afterwards. It's like the taste is good, but usually my body rejects a lot of that stuff that I used to eat on the daily. And not only did I used to eat it on the daily, hell, I used to eat bad like 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner bad. So I'm proud of myself to change those bad habits. And again, I went from, being 270 to 190. So you can do it too. Jamar Chase, first down, Bengals. It's like I don't even really drink soda anymore. Don't really drink alcohol anymore either. But if I hang out with my friend Justin, I can have a couple beers or a couple mixed drinks. But then like I might be doing that like once a month. But I don't do any of the sugar stuff like with the Modelo Cheladas or the Snapples anymore, even though I kind of miss that stuff at time to time. But I really am trying to be better, put in that effort and that discipline. Handoff. Herbert spinning around. 5-yard gain, 2nd down and 5 on the Pittsburgh 41. I'm just trying to be a good influence for you guys, to show you, if you have dreams and goals, how hard you have to work, and if you actually make changes, that you can get results. But again, the results aren't going to happen right away. It's not going to happen in like a day or two or a week. Once you do something for 21 days in a row, it becomes a habit, and then you'll slowly see the results. But again, you have to have the discipline and hold yourself accountable, which I was mentioning earlier, hardest thing to do in life. End of the third quarter, 16-7 Bengals. Another thing that I don't have that often either is coffee. But, every once in a while, it's kind of nice to be able to have it, but I don't have a coffee maker here. I did have Starbucks, though, for the first time in like a year, about a week ago, and it was amazing. But again, I just, too expensive. Everything is too expensive now, food and drink, and you'd have to be really careful, like you go onto like Grubhub, it's like, unless you're like a rich person, unless you want to pay for like a burger, fries, and a drink and pay $28, if you got money to do that, but that's just like crazy, to think with delivery and tip and, whatever service charge, like a burger, fries, and a drink should not cost almost $30 fucking. A pizza shouldn't cost $50 to $60, but that's the world that we live in now. Crazy. End of the third quarter, 16-7 Bengals. Oh, this guy, he's kind of good. Yeah. Matt in the building. What's good? All right, fourth quarter, baby. Burrow to Chase for 19 yards. First down, Bengals. What a good combo they have. A little bit of a push off by Jamar there, but that toe drag swag. Oh, my. Oh, my. And Jamar has been the best wide receiver in the NFL this year. No doubt about that. Swag, swag, swag. Enough swag for everyone else. Short game. They're good. Second down and 8. And timeout by the Bengals. Yeah. Doubling up and then tripling up. That's what got her the title. Also having very good wide receiver twos and getting rookies like Brock Bowers. You know, she hits every category, and it also helps when you have a good kicker and a good defense on top of everything else. Man, look at those receiving yards. These guys are good. Shotgun set. Burrow, screen pass. Oh, big hit. That's the best hit I've seen out of the Steelers all day. Like, you know, normally the Steelers crowd is really, really loud and into it. Have we even heard them all game? Nope. Have you heard the towels moving around or seen them? Nope. You know, it's like, you know, they're wearing the same colors that we're used to, but they're not the same team. You know, same thing with like Bama and Georgia. You can wear the colors, but you're not the same team anymore, you know. You know, it's like you are illegally paying your players and you were that much better than everyone else. Now everyone can do it legally, and now Georgia and Alabama aren't relevant anymore. Coincidence? I think not. It was a coincidence. Third down and 9. Burrow steps up in the pocket. Little check down. Hudson, first down, Bengals. Nice there by Hudson. I mean, they got all kinds of like rando guys. Hudson, Sample, you know, just like guys on the Chiefs with like Noah Gray and Justin Watson. You don't really account for them, but when they end up making plays, it hurts you even more as a defense. First and goal. Herbert run for 2 yards. Second and goal on the Pittsburgh 8. But it's crazy to think Pittsburgh's at home. You can't do anything on offense, and then the defense gets tired, and the defense isn't even good. Like, you're about to get routed by the Bengals, and it shows you if you're really, really good at a certain position group, you know, even if your defense can't stop a nosebleed, Cincinnati, it doesn't matter. You know, Steeler defenses look worse than the Bengal defense today. The Bengals have won on the line of scrimmage, O-line and D-line, and that's what wins the football game. T-Rex has been more of a threat than T.J. Watt, and it shows. Burrow, short pass. Yoshavash. Short game. He's okay. Yoshavash. You know, but obviously give me avoid the Boyd, Tyler Boyd. That's a better receiver. But, you know, you can't keep everybody. 4 more likes to 20. Let's get there. I'm good, man. I am good. Another timeout. I got a good stat for you so you don't get too depressed about Oregon losing, just to kind of put things in perspective for you. Okay. Jim Harbaugh, right? Elite coach in the college football ranks in the NFL. Took him more than 10 years as a head coach to win his first natty. Okay. Nick Saban, it took a decade, 12 years. Okay. Kirby Smart took 6 years. Dabo Sweeney, it took 8 years. Ryan Day is in his 5th year, hasn't won it yet, but he could this year, right? Dan Lanning's only in his 3rd year. So it shows you how long you have to go before you get to the point where you can win a natty. So the fastest out of any of the relevant coaches within the last 25 years is 6, but it goes all the way up to like 12. So we're only in year 3 in the Lanning era. So, I don't want to have 3 other disappointing years, but it's going to take time. It's not like all of a sudden you can develop a team in 1 year and then boom, you win. And we obviously need more explosive players like Jeremiah Smith on Ohio State. We need the LaMichaels and the DeAnthonys. And once we get those guys, we got a couple 5-star guys coming in next year, and hopefully we can get some good results like that and complete, because we're going to need those type of athletes. The O-line, the D-line, and the secondary let us down. But if we really look at it, the offensive players overachieved, but we don't really have anybody on the offense that's going to be a stud in the NFL. Like Dylan Gabriel might be the most notable name, but he'll be a backup. It's like we don't have anybody that's going to be like, and even fucking DeAnthony and LaMichael couldn't even make it. And those guys were some of the most electric players in college football ever, and they couldn't even make it in the NFL. You got to be like a Haloti Ngata to fucking make it in the NFL. It shows you like the level of, elite you have to be like beast on that level. So obviously things stung, but you have to look at the team. We played much better than expected, but if you actually look at the players that we had, the players were much better on the defense. But it also shows you a month off, 3 weeks off, all those teams lost, and obviously all the home teams having the bye, and the structure and whatnot. So we can complain that we played Ohio State first, but even if we beat Ohio State, we weren't going to beat Texas. And, it's not like we were going to be able to go all the way. Even if we beat Ohio State, we were, kind of playing better than we should have, but we didn't really have NFL players. And that's what we need, electric NFL players, on our offense, and especially when we're getting those guys on the defensive side. And once we have those guys, we'll know it, and again, we're still going to get our hearts broken probably a couple more times before we get to the natty, let alone win it. We might have to go to the natty, maybe, have a couple, seasons, get there and then lose. And then we have to try to get there again. And then maybe we finally win. I don't know if we're going to win it the first time that we get there in the Lanning era, but I think that's a very good stat to kind of put that in perspective. We had a very good team. We played better than expected, had a great year, undefeated, Big Ten championship, but it's not who you play necessarily, but it's when you play them. And, playing Ohio State, based on how they played, they could have beaten pretty much anybody, in the matchup. It just so happens it was Oregon. But if they would have played Texas, they would have beat them. They would have beaten anybody, and, Notre Dame, they would have beat them. Like, they would have beat Penn State. Like, it just kind of bad luck for us. But, I still feel confident. It's still go Ducks till I die. And things will get better. It's just progression. It happens, it's like those people that were coming in, they mad at, me because they lost money saying that, they said that I said that we were going to win it all, but those aren't really fans of the channel because I never said that. I said that we were good. We were number 1 ranked. I would support wear the gloves and the chains, and I'm the Oregon Ducks streamer, but again, it's just people being trolls and haters and assuming, and it's jealousy. And then again, people love to see people miserable. They don't want to see people win. They want to see people sad, angry, and miserable. And if they're not happy with their own life, and then they see someone having success that they're jealous of, and then we end up fucking losing the way that we did, they can't help but fucking rub it in, to Duck fans because they think that that's going to make them feel better. They can talk shit or whatever, that's just how people are. A lot of people are overly negative when they don't need to be, But it's all right. Like I said, haters are going to hate. And eventually, as long as Lanning stays, we're going to get one. If he leaves, then we're back to the drawing board because whoever we get won't be as good as him. That's for damn sure. We'll be a top 15 team, but we won't be a top 5 team. And we just have to keep trying to get better recruits and hopefully get some 5-star guys at the skill position players, better running back, better wide receivers, better tight end, better offensive line, and better quarterback, And we'll see if we add a 5-star quarterback that already transferred, because it's like you got Dante Moore, right? And then we got Achilles Smith's son coming in after that. So we already have like a lot of talent, but there's a few guys that are Islanders, Hawaiians, and a couple of these guys, but we just had a 5-star quarterback that committed and now he's already leaving after like a week, intimidated by Dante Moore and some of the other guys that we have, not Novosad. So, there's going to be guys that are, wanting to play right away. But even if you're a 5-star recruit at quarterback, that doesn't mean you're going to start for Oregon right away. And again, for back in the day, you had to stick it out. Now there's no loyalty. You can, make your situation better by just, fuck it, I'm leaving, but it wasn't like that before. So obviously the landscape of college football has changed dramatically with NIL and obviously no loyalty to the school. It's like if you didn't like a coach or a player, you had to stick it out. Now it's like, oh, I don't like this fucking guy or I don't like this coach. Fuck you. I'm gone, So it's going to definitely make it a lot harder to be able to create a dynasty in college football because there's no fucking loyalty anymore. They don't like something, goodbye. First down and 10, Russ. Pass to the sideline, incomplete. Where the hell is Freiermuth and Pickens when you need them? Yeah. But again, people love to be able to, kind of be an asshole, and whatnot. Like Duck fans are already, hurt by what happened, and again, that's what people are when they're heartless, or they're just not happy with their own lives. They try to go and attack, a fan base that never has said anything bad about them, but they just, that's how it goes. The jealousy of the 13-0 winning the Big Ten the first year. And, but first year in the college football playoff, things will get better. Hopefully seeding, it'll expand. There's still going to be things that are not correct. There's going to be people that are going to be bitching about teams that they have to match up against. And at the end of the day, no excuses. Like Dan Lanning, fuck it. Who we play is who we play. And if we're good enough, regardless on if we have to play Ohio State right away or fucking Indiana, you just got to, if you have the players and the coaches and you win. But it looks like it might be better off losing a couple games in the regular season, not winning the Big Ten, and letting Ohio State try to go undefeated. And then they have to have a month off, and then we'll play them and we'll beat them, and if we have to play right away. So it shows you like the strategy has changed now. Like you don't really want to go undefeated. You don't want to be necessarily at the top, especially if you're going to have a month off, because like teams can't win that way. Every single team lost. Now, if you had at least 1 or 2 win, then you couldn't really say that. But all the teams lost. So obviously having 3 weeks to a month off is not doing anybody any favors. And they need to change that. They need to make it where you only have like a couple weeks off at the most, like a week or 2, not 3 or 4. And even with a week or 2 off, you still might have all the teams lose. So, no excuses. We got to be better. Coaches let us down. Secondary let us down. But also, if you look on the flip side, the defense only gave up 7 points in the second half. We just gave up 34 in the fucking first half, and that was too much to come back from. So, multiple factors, but it was probably one of the more, painful losses, but it didn't even really sink in because it happened so fast. Like losing to Washington twice the year before hurt me more than that. It's like once you get down big like that, the game was already over in the first quarter, and everyone knew it. Duck fans included. We could be hopeful. Oh, touchdown, 2 point, touchdown, 2 point, touchdown, 2 point. But we all knew that the writing was already on the wall, and we were fucked. And that's not who we are. And it shows you can have one bad half. You can go undefeated, win the Big Ten, look like the number 1 team for half the season, and literally have one bad half, and your dreams get fucking crushed, and so that's just life. Life isn't fair, and I'm happy that we have a guy like Lanning there, not some other kind of coach like fucking Cristobal or someone else, because again, we're going to handle it the right way. No excuses, work harder, understand that, that was a team loss. Offense, had injuries too, which wasn't ideal. Jordan James injured, fuck me, right? Evan Stewart injured, fuck me. Tez, fuck me, really? Like, how the fuck are we supposed to win when our guys aren't even NFL and then they're injured? And, Dylan Gabriel didn't have a bad game. He never really threw picks against the big opponents. But again, we need better players and not that extended time off. That was a killer. 19-7 Bengals. Yeah. Also, Baker and the Bucs are the only team to beat the Eagles and Lions this year. So even though our defense stinks, right, our offense is top 5 and Baker is top 5. So Washington has a great future. And again, it shows you, it took them, many years, right, to be able to find the right team and have like an 11-win team with Mark Rippon. Then once they got rid of Daniel Snyder, got the right coach and got the right quarterback in Daniels, it took them literally 1 year to match what they did in 1991 with Mark Rippon. So having a bad owner is like a cancer, and thank God Snyder's no longer there, and you're going to see some good success out of that team, not only this year but in the future. Russ, George Pickens, and he dropped it. But Washington is fun to watch now. Before it was kind of just like hit or miss, but they're definitely fun to watch, and I'm happy for their success. There's a reason why, Jaden Daniels got the Heisman, and you're seeing it. He's just like Lamar, but in the NFC. Oh, fumbled snap, came back to Russ, and look at him. He decides to run. Great decision. Now, if you were able to do that in the last month, maybe you wouldn't be on a fucking skid, right? And you should have probably done that in the first half. Like, you got to use your legs, and Russ wants to be this like pocket quarterback, and it took a bobbled snap for him just to say, fuck it, let me take it myself. But, he's still got a little bit of speed there. Run the football. Use your legs. Nice run by Russ there. Improv play. Wide open. Fryer move. Touchdown, Steelers. Yeah, some people are just not happy with their own lives, and then, it's a lot easier to be negative and rude and mean than it is to be nice and to be a good person. So if that's the case, it takes effort to be a good person and to, go about it. It's super easy to be a dickhead and be an asshole to fucking anybody, or to, try to make someone else's life a fucking living hell, or to troll or to talk shit. It takes effort to be a fucking good person. Facts. And that's why there's so many fucking haters and trolls that are out there. Because it's a lot easier, to be that way than to, to actually be a fucking decent human being. 19-14 Bengals. Good game now, finally. Let's go, baby. Let's get some Fryer Muth up here on the screen. But I love evaluating every single team as if they were my own. That builds me a connection with every single fan base, that I know what I'm talking about. I do the deep diving, I do the research, I do the reading, I do the film study. It's a long fucking process. Again, it's hard enough to try to be an expert for just your favorite team, let alone all fucking 32, on top of college football and the NBA and the NHL and the MLB. And NASCAR, and then WWE or any other wrestling federation. This is a fucking lifestyle. Like, Northwest Sports Fanatics isn't just like a gimmick. This is a fucking lifestyle. This is who we are. Some of us, take it to a higher level than others. The passion and the commitment. 19-14 Bengals. Nice job, Pat. We definitely got to put the quarterback on there. Steeler fans finally waving their terrible towels. They woke up. It's the most quiet I've heard the Pittsburgh crowd maybe in any game that I've ever watched. And that's a lot of fucking Pittsburgh games over the years. Renegade by Sticks in the crowd there, getting the Steeler fans pumped. All right, kickoff. Bengals here with the return. Good return there. 25 yards to the 27. Plus, someone's got to rep the Bucks on fucking YouTube the proper way. And the NFL. Not be biased. Call it how you see it. Not a whole lot of NFC South representation on YouTube. You know, it's like a lot of the other teams out there, AFC and NFC, but you don't really see a whole lot, you know, on the Saints, Bucks, Falcons, and Panther side. To the South. SOUFFF, baby. Burrow, plenty of time, little check down, batted down by Hayward. He's still good at that. Nice job by Cam. Oh, Matt with his very first go-no to the channel. Someone's getting that pizza money. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. You should be keeping that money for yourself, but I do appreciate the generosity. It means a lot. Matt's first dono on the channel. Whoop, whoop. Second down and 10. Shotgun set. Burrow. He said that pizza money's coming in, baby. Floater, wide open. Move the chains. I appreciate this. He said, my goals for 2025, have better social awareness in the chat. Get back to your mod status. He said, watch film on any NFL receiver that people talk about in the chat. Make my own wide receiver booklet and be the best that I can be. Sounds like good goals for you to be able to try to achieve. Check down, stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. And I think first part of that, too, is just, you know, understanding who you're in the room with and caring about other people in the room, you know, and understanding if you're talking in the chat a certain way, would you talk the same way if you were face-to-face with us in the room, knowing that some of the people are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old. And I think once you start to realize the different age, the different race, the different parts of the country and across the globe, the fans are in on this channel. Some are going to be younger like yourself, but some are going to be my age and some are going to be a little bit older, you know. And then I think once you have that awareness and start caring about, you know, other people's favorite things and actually giving a shit, you know, about other people's interests and whatnot, you know, and then you start to create bonds. Everything then just kind of flows naturally, you know. It's just being a little bit more considerate, you know. It's like me. I don't need to fucking remember every single person's favorite things, you know, but I enjoy it because it gives me a connection and it also shows that I'm listening and I fucking care. You know, think about how many hosts of shows, you know, they could give two fucks about who your favorite team is or your player. As long as you're donating to them, that's what they care about. As long as you're subbing and sharing and giving them money, you know. But I really do take a lot of pride in paying attention to what you guys fucking say and knowing what you like and what you don't like. It's because we have the bond. But I do appreciate you very much. Let me know what you want to do for your first photo on the channel. And Matt could have did $1, did 10. You know, and that shows that, you know, you're really trying. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. Pizza money coming in. He could have did 99 cents. He's like, nah, O-Dog has worked way too fucking hard for this. I need to grind it out. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I appreciate you. And like I said, we don't lie on the channel. Now, if you're on another channel or another social media space, yeah, I might question some of the advice or stuff that's coming in if you don't really know them. But I feel like here, we're going to be the most honest, genuine people on any fucking sports or wrestling channel, period. As a group, like I've eliminated the bad seeds. I've eliminated the haters. I've eliminated the trolls, So again, it's like what we're left with, are fucking hardcore sports and wrestling fans that are actually good people that would give the shirt off their back. And we've eliminated the people that, are not, or that, are not a fit here. So, we're not going to give bad advice here, especially if we want you to be better. So, or we can get some duck photos up or whatever you want. You want some Bronco photos? We can do Bronco photos. I mean, my best friend Justin is like you, Broncos and Ducks. So it's like, anytime you talk about Broncos, my best friend Justin is a huge Bronco fan, except you are from a younger generation, like a Peyton Manning. He's been following it since like Elway, time period. So it's, a little bit longer. He's like my age, a little bit younger than me, but we're roughly the same age, only like a couple year difference. So. Lisa Salters reporting. 2nd down and 10. Russ. Oh boy, got a fucking debit card, a fucking checking or savings account, some kind of card, got a job. Again, it's you're learning responsibility, and that's a big thing, especially it's like if you have parents or relatives that take care of you or took care of you, and you didn't have to really worry about, eating, or paying rent or, having money. And then once you actually have to like earn shit on your own, and then you start to realize, holy fuck, like how expensive shit is and how hard you have to work for your money, it's like I have to fucking grind and hustle so hard because of the percentage that comes out. Like if I was able to get a better percentage, maybe I wouldn't have to work. I always would work hard. I'm always going to be a fucking work ethic dog. I'm always going to put in that work. But, if the percentages were a little bit more kinder, I wouldn't have to be, I don't really get stressed out. I just have to grind harder. So. Did he fumble it? Wow. Steelers trying to come back and win? What the fuck? Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, anyone that does like 1 to 5, I mean, there's going to be people that will never fucking donate to me, even 1 to 5, which is, you can't even get a goddamn hamburger for that, right? But then the people that do 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,300, I mean, it's like not only you have to understand when you donate to a channel, you're not just supporting me, you're supporting a fucking dream. That's really what it is. You're supporting the dream for me to be able to keep continuing to take care of Paisley and continuing to be able to do this for the rest of my life. So, for some people, the donos are just donos. But for me, I'm letting the people that like the channel, sub to the channel, share, that's huge. But when you donate, it is the biggest honor and the biggest thing that you can do to make a difference on this channel. And some people can afford to do it, some people can't. And I totally am okay with that. But for the people that go above and beyond, you are the reason why I'm able to, continue the bonds and continue this grind and to be try to be an inspiration for others to be able to do their dream as well and have a nice, safe place where we can talk sports and wrestling and not have to deal with bullshit. And if we do, I give it the boot. Like, there's no other channel that does that. You think about all these other channels that are out there that do sports and wrestling. Do you think they do what I do? Fuck no. Because they want those fucking subs. They want those views, even if the person is toxic. They don't give a fuck about the mods or the other people or how it would affect them if you have a bunch of assholes in the room. As long as the money's coming in, that's what they care about. And that's why there's so many fucking actors and actresses out there that are fake as fuck, and it makes me sick. I wish, people weren't like that. And that's the reality we live in. You just have to be able to separate who's genuine and who isn't, and who's a good actor. Fryer, move! Yeah, I mean, hell, if we did your first dono, yeah, I mean, like we could do some Tay-Tay, we could do some Bo Nix, Oregon and Broncos. Like, we got to make sure your photos represent you and what you like. And again, I'm the only channel that caters to the fans in that way, where instead of me talking about all of my favorite things and showing you photos of all of the stuff that I like and not giving a shit about you guys, I actually give you guys an opportunity to shine on the channel. And I don't really do as much for like myself, if you notice, like if there's a game or if there's a conversation, but I'm never going to be overbearing and slamming Buccaneer and Ducks and Mariners shit down everyone's throat. Like, if there's a Mariner game, we're doing Mariners, but I let the greatness speak for itself. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? It's time for a T-Rex sandwich. Yeah. Yum, 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 yum. Fucking T-Rex. Fucking short arms. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love T-Rex, and if you notice, the Saints should have never, ever let him go. This guy is one of the most perennial, premium, top-tier pass rushers. He's the lowest name guy that puts up big-name stats. But again, I know that he's elite, but I know for some people that, in this room, you guys know too, but there's others out there that don't realize that T-Rex is on that same level as all of your other favorite pass rushers. He is. Russ, going long, going deep, tipped, and complete. Like, I would be ecstatic if that guy was on the Buccaneers. That would be like the second coming of Simeon Rice. Are you fucking shitting me? If I didn't have Simeon Rice getting 15 and a half sacks for like 3 years in a row with Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, John Lynch, and Rondé Barber, Mike Allstott on the offense, you think I would have fucking won a Super Bowl? Hell no. Simeon Rice was a big reason why. We brought him over from the Cardinals with Michael Pittman. Those were huge pickups with John Gruden. That it's not talked about. If we don't make the move for Simeon Rice and Michael Pittman, there's no NFC championship win against the Eagles on the road, which has never been done. Warm weather team playing in cold weather and actually fucking winning, and then going to the Super Bowl and beating the shit out of the Raiders. 5 picks, 3 pick sixes. Has that been done since? Fuck no, because that was one of the best defenses of all time. 85 Bears, 2,000 Ravens, 2,002 Bucks. And also you can throw in the Hawks there, obviously, with the Legion of Boom. They were pretty special too. 1914 Bengals. Tay-Tay photos, Bo Nix photos, Ducks, and then maybe a Dylan Gabriel, and then Cortland Sutton, and then more Tay-Tay. I got you, my guy. 3rd down and 25. Short game. But like, look at T-Rex's numbers. Like, Saints fans have not recovered. Saints fans, they're used to talking shit and being aggressive. And again, it went Panthers 2 years, Falcons a year, Saints 4 years in a row winning the division, and I'm about to win it 4 years in a row. But remember, in that 4-year period, not only were they winning the NFC South, but they were getting like the most wins out of any team in the fucking NFL. So it's like, how did they not win a goddamn Super Bowl? And they probably would have if they would have not got cheated. Is good. What a field goal. All as well. Right? The pass interference call with the Rams, and then we had that Rams-Patriots Super Bowl. That was the lowest scoring, boring Super Bowl. If the Saints would have made that Super Bowl, they would have won. 100%. I have mad respect, for the Patriots. But if you're going to win a game like 13-10, that fucking Saints team was like the best team in the NFL. Now, would they have scored 30 or 40? Probably not. But I'm pretty sure that they would have been able to get to at least 20. And then maybe the Patriots get to 13-17, or it's a little bit higher scoring where it might be a 27-20 win or 27-23. But they would have won. I'm sure of it. The defenses were both good for the two teams, the Rams with Aaron Donald, and that was with Goff, and then obviously with New England. And it took that Gronk catch late in the game to set them up to get the first touchdown, like in the fucking 4th quarter. But it was enough to win. 19-17. Bungles. I got to delete some photos if I got to make some room for... Isaiah Williams getting a block. Matt's learning life skills on the channel. I mean, how many channels can say that you can actually learn? And it's not just learning from me. There's like so many smart, intelligent, bright people from all over the world, that are a part of this channel. Some come, more than often and hang out here. Incredible place to learn, let me tell you. I try to learn something new from someone every single day. Shotgun set, first down and 10. Herbert, short game. Timeout Steelers. Matt's first dono. The Tay movement is starting. I don't listen to her music, but she is a very good person. I just think that people are angry because people are forcing her on us. And if you love her, then you love that. But if you're not about, you're trying to like brainwash me and you're forcing me to try to like someone, then that is a turnoff for a lot of people. And then that's why there's that type of hate towards, her and the NFL, But again, she's not on tour anymore. They're not pushing the narrative anymore, right? She's very pretty. She's very giving, back to like the workers. Like some people that are like super famous and rich, they don't give back. I read her a report that was verified that, she gave back a lot of money, like $100,000 to like every fucking driver, every fucking worker, and that's huge. That's life-changing money. For her, it's not, because she's worth like $1 bajillion, zillion million dollars, right? But, for a person that probably makes pretty good money driving, the equipment and the setup and the stage and the people that work there, but still, that's like life-changing money, And when I hear stories about like that, like, I'm not going to go listen to her music, but it makes me respect her as a fucking human being. And I know that she's a kind person, and a lot of people are jealous of her status. It used to be Beyonce. Now she took over the female spot, and that's what it is. Some people are going to love her, and some people are not, but I think if they didn't force her narrative so much, that the hate and the pushback wouldn't have been so high. It's like, we want to watch football. Like, you're just trying to gain followers, and the NFL is trying to do the same thing. That's what made people mad. It's like, I don't need you to force this shit, but I think that she is a very good person from what I've read. Haven't met her, so I wouldn't be able to say on that end until that happens. Shotgun set, Burrow, 4-man rush. He's running for his life, getting tripped up. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? It's time for a Pittsburgh sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Shoestring, tackle, sack lunch. Megan was watching the cricket. $5 holla. I'll get you some photos as well. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Cactus Jack, bang, bang. We were just talking about all kinds of amazing people that I have in this room, and the people that, Matt did his first dono to the channel and did $10 instead of like a $1. And, when you do the higher dollar amount, I mean, you're not only supporting, me, but like you're putting food in Paisley's mouth. It's like, that's what you're doing. You're helping me pay the internet bill, and the streaming bill. So that way I can continue doing the dream. So if you realize, for other people, it may not be like that. They're rich and they don't care, but it's like, when you get someone that is working as hard as I am and appreciates the people that I have in the room, like, for every person that donates even $1, understand that the people that are doing the bigger amounts, not everyone can do that, but you are literally doing something so selfless, and it's so appreciative by me that it's like, I can't even put into words like how it means to me. And so when I get those people that do that, it means a lot. And I understand some people are going to come and some are going to go. Some people are going to donate big for a short period of time and we may not see them ever again, or they may come back, or we may have a situation where we have someone that passes away, like Nate the Great. He did $500 donos like 4 or 5 times. Like, that is not a normal thing to do, but also too, for a guy to be in his like late 20s, early 30s, to be like general manager at a Denny's and be working like fucking 80 hours, a week. Again, he has the extra income, but he didn't have to do that. That's his money. That's his hard work. Rest in peace. And he's a Bronco fan too. So anytime I think about Broncos and wrestling, I think about him, and like, these things stick with me, like people that are here, people that aren't, and the people that show that love. I appreciate you guys. I'm always going to give it to you real. Matt's like, man, my first dono. Haven't seen some Tay-Tay photos in weeks. It's like, man, this is nice. He's like, now I know what it feels like to be Megan when she's got all the silver foxes. We don't have too much female representation here. We're not about over-sexualizing the females. There's plenty of bullshit that you see on the internet. Now, obviously, there's going to be people that are actors, actresses, singers, rappers, whatever, that are attractive people, and we like those people. They're going to be on the screen. If someone donates, we got something, This game is now a game. Bengals with the punt. Off the bounce. All right, to the 25. I think also, too, in this college football playoff, even though Dylan Gabriel has like the most, touchdowns and FBS and played a long, long time, it's very clear, even though he didn't fuck up and throw picks in any of the big games, we needed someone to be NFL and like very good, like a Bo Nix or a Justin Herbert, to be closer in that game or to win. Like, obviously the secondary let us down, but, it's like you needed something a little bit more on this level. And you're seeing how special he is with literally like no help. Like running backs, not good. Wide receivers, not good, except for Sutton. They're names, but they need to be better. No fucking tight end. Like, just imagine, once that offensive line gets better, it's already pretty good, right? And then you add some good weapons. Then you're going to start to seeing like Bo Nix play like Baker Mayfield on the Bucs. It'll be like that. Oh, Bucky Irving, Rashad White, Jalen McMillan, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Kate Otten. Holy shit. Good offensive line. Tristan Wirfs, Graham Barton. Watch out. Fire move. Dangerous. Fire move. Less than a minute to go. And we'll get some photos up for Matt and Megan here. He said, give me some Taz and try. And it's like you got, Rome Odunze and Jalen McMillan, right? But McMillan's the better receiver. So it's like, even though Rome was the number one, sometimes, the number two might be in a better situation or just ends up having a better NFL career. Like, we got Troy Franklin, but there's going to be a receiver that's on the Ducks that'll be much better than him in the NFL. But I do hope that he gets better, but he just needs to get more reps. But, he's not... I don't know what people expected. If they expected Troy Franklin to be like a wide receiver one, like I always knew that, we've had pretty good receivers in college back in the day. Keenan Howery, Sammy Parker, hell, DeAnthony Thomas and LaMichael James at running back. And if those guys were electric Heisman types and they couldn't pan out, don't be sad if Troy Franklin never turns into the player that you hope he does. 12 noon, you know what time it is? It's time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. 19. 17 T-Rex. Look how, it's like you have to hold T-Rex every fucking play. He's too good. He's my favorite pass rusher that's not known. Like OGs know, But again, there's always going to be like the Myles Garretts and the, the bigger name guys that are more popular. He literally is the most talented athletic motor player that isn't recognized as elite like all the others for whatever reason. He's like on the tier below that. Like they just never want to talk about him. I do. I'll talk about him. I think he's an incredible athlete. Saints haven't been the same since he left. He's got moves, footwork. He's got the hands, the speed, and the endless motor. Russ going long, going deep, got a man. Oh my God, how do you miss that? Incomplete. George Pickens, how do you not catch that? And now is he injured? What is he doing? Claiming he's a hammy or something? What's going on? How does he not catch this? Normally he can readjust his body and he catches this. This is George Pickens. Look at that double move, real head jerk, but it was overthrown and that's why he couldn't. Seeing that replay there, just out of reach. There's no chance of getting that. If it was just 6 inches closer, maybe he one-hands that, maybe. But the impact on the ground makes it probably pop out. But we've seen Pickens make some amazing catches. He's got really strong fingers, good hands. 4th down. Pickens is open almost every play, let's be honest. It's just that they don't get him the ball. It's like Garrett Wilson. Motherfucker is open every play. Does Rodgers throw to him? No. He's like, I'm going to go to somebody else. I'm going to go to Alan Lazard instead because he played with me on the Packers. Oh, I got Devontae Adams. Sorry. It's like, get that guy the goddamn ball. It's like when you see top 5 talent, but they might not have the maturity, Pickens, or the targets, Wilson. But when they do, they could be top 5, top 10 guys. It's either you recognize the talent or you don't. Quarterback and the scheme is the problem. Get those guys the ball or put them on other teams, and then they turn into top 5 wide receivers, like a Jamar or a Jetta or a Amon-Ra. Fourth down and 12. And that's it. Pass incomplete to Freiermuth. Wow. Actually on his hands too. That's tough. Oh my. Like you make the tutty, but then you can't make the catch. But that looked like it was kind of a bang bang play. But you didn't really deserve to win this game anyways. But that's kind of a shitty way to, let your fans down. But the thing is that fans love Freiermuth because he's got a great attitude. So even when he fucks up, they're not going to be all on him like it was if it was someone that was kind of questionable, that they'd be trying to get him out of town. Everyone loves Freiermuth. The guy's a G, good attitude, likable. So if he fucks up, some of them will just blame it on the Russ throw, or, well, hey, we'll get you next time. But they didn't deserve to win this game anyways. But at least they made it more exciting. Final score, Bengals 19, Steelers 17. Time for photos. I don't tell lies here, all right? We tell facts, and you get smarter here, right? And if we weren't smart here, Good Morning Football and Peter Schrager wouldn't be stealing my material, right? Pat McAfee show wouldn't know who I am. All the big YouTubers, Grossi and Urinating Tree, they wouldn't know. People know. They may not watch you, But again, they have heard of you. And I think most people, if they have heard of you, a lot of people are curious enough to watch something, to be able to see what you're about. But we got some amazing people in this room, and I want to make sure we take care of you. So let's get some more photos up here for Matt and Megan. Let me know. Five straight wins, the hottest bad team in the league. But they're not bad. Bad record, but the hottest team that no one wants anything of. Because if you're the Bills, you could lose. If you're the Chiefs, you could lose. If you're the Ravens, you could lose. Like, they literally could be the best team in the AFC, right? They're the hottest team right now, right? They are, they don't even have a defense. They're like the Bills. It doesn't even matter. That's got to, and then it really starts to make you understand how great this player is. 37 for 46, 277, 1 tutty, 1 pick. Not the greatest stat line, but there's an aura and a presence about the Tiger King. The most likable quarterback that's not your quarterback in the NFL. Tell me I'm wrong. Super likable, even more likable than Josh Allen. He is literally the most likable because you were so goddamn good with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson winning the Natty at LSU. We already liked you then, and then boom, you get to a Super Bowl, you don't win, but you've gone through a lot of adversity. You're very likable. Keep doing you, Tiger King. Joe Cool. Also helps when you got like the best receiver in the fucking land, not named Justin Jefferson. Yeah, golly. Kicker is super important. You already know that. Offensive line, defense, coaching, play calling, special teams. Super, super important to have a good kicker and a good punter. Every team. And if you notice flaws in teams, think about field position and those clutch extra points and kicks that you don't think about all the time until it happens to you and you fucking lose. And then you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah, Casey not playing starters. That's a fire. Troy Franklin with that chrome helmet. Ridiculous. All right, Megan, anything that you want to do for your photo? Something specific, just regulars or anything else? I got to delete some of these other photos, make some more room. Final score, Bengals 19, Steelers 17. Stay on here for a couple more minutes, getting for photos for all the goats in the room. Good choice. There's there's so many possibilities. I'll always find the fire stuff too. It's like you tell someone look up unicorn, you're like, oh, what are they gonna pull up? Some like My Little Pony? But I'll find something fire like this to start us off. So you already know. I'm already gonna keep things on point. Doesn't matter what the subject is or what the content. I will find the coolest thing out of whatever we're talking about. Trust you me, I'll find it. I'll navigate these damn internets. I'll find some cool stuff. Ah, Liberty Jane. Does she have any like vintage My Little Ponies? My gosh, that would be wild. Like a kid nowadays growing up and then being able to have like the vintage toy. Oh man. This next one I like is just because a cat is riding the unicorn. So I need to get a better resolution, obviously. But I initially saw it and a cat. I'm going to put that on there. But the resolution isn't good enough. You know, it's got to be on a better level. Well, Liberty Jane Eliza Rose. He said, "Damn, Pittsburgh." Paisley has entered the building. Yeah, we're getting down to the nitty gritty of the NFL and the college football season. It's starting to wrap up, and then we're going to get into February. NASCAR, March Madness, and then baseball. But we got to soak in all this football for a little bit, because then we're going to have like 6 months without it. But we'll have the draft and then the combine. If you're really a diehard NFL guy or girl, NFL is 365. It's every day. So, it's like we may not have a game, but that doesn't mean that we're not thinking about, the team or, there's something going on. Paisley's laying down. She wants to go for a walk with Dad. I got to have an offensive line to give him time to get the ball. He's the most underutilized player besides Garrett Wilson that's got top 10 talent. But then if they don't get him the ball, then it's, what are you getting out of that? Nothing. You could be getting 120 yards and 2 touchdowns if you actually had a capable quarterback. I don't tell lies on this channel. Yeah, some were his fault, but some are kind of tough throws. So it just kind of depends on what kind of throw it is and where was the location. Did he actually have a chance? Like that last one was out of reach. He tried. He at least extended, for a guy that looks like he takes plays off. Like, obviously, he's trying to get it for his own stat line rather than Russell's or the team, but you can only do so much at that position before you get frustrated. Running routes, blocking, busting your ass every fucking play, and then you just don't get the ball. Like, how many players have the discipline to keep going on that, team effort, intensity level before they get frustrated and give up on some plays or do worse. Don't want to get in the game, stay on the bench, or fake an injury or whatever. All right. Anything else I can put up for you, Megan or Matt? You let me know. I'm going to eat some dinner. Then I'm going to go for a walk. Me and Paisley are going to get in the rain. maybe walk around in a new neighborhood. She loves sniffing on bushes, peeing and pooping in certain people's lawns, which is really weird too, because it's like sometimes she'll do it at the houses of my friends when I lived here when I was a kid. Like, why did you choose that house? Like, interesting stuff. But Matt got his first dono today, so he's a happy man. And I'm happy. I appreciate it. Megan added on the dono train. Anything else that we can do? Sure, I got you. The foxes that are silver. Bum, bum. He's like, I'm a good actor. She's like, I'm a good actress. We're good. Is it baseball season yet, Mariners? Wish it was. I've been itching for some baseball. And I know baseball's not everyone's thing, just like basketball or the NHL or NASCAR or one of the other things, wrestling. We all have our things that we like. I'm almost done, Paisley. We can go for a walk, okay? I love my pup so much. I have never loved anything more in my entire life. And I live my life for her. And that feels good, being able to like make a difference in a life and give it a top 1% life. Gotta get Megan the bib. Got too many heartthrobs, too many foxes that are silver. Silver fox overload. .30 Oilers. Come on, Kraken. Come on, Blazers. Anything else I can get for either one of you? And then we'll be live tomorrow for Sunday Night Football. 14-2 Vikings, 14-2 Lions. A lot on the line. Not only, the division, but the loser goes to the 5 seed. One goes to the 1, the other one goes to the 5. That's never happened before. Having a 14-win team not win the division ever. It's never happened. And, if Minnesota wins, maybe we can be more confident that they could beat the Lions or Eagles and somehow make the Super Bowl. Like, they are, the outside team looking in, like the Ravens. We trust the Chiefs and the Bills. We trust the Lions and the Eagles. Do we trust the Vikings and the Ravens? We do, but only to a certain degree. And if they're playing the other teams, maybe not. So we'll see how it goes. We will see. So she's just going down the list. She's just thinking of every single one. I got to get them all in here. I need him too. There he is. I know, Paisley. Dad's almost done. I'm trying to make people happy. That's, making people happy and being able to represent your favorite thing, and it's like talking about it is one thing, getting a shout out is another, but to get a visual and a good visual, as if the person would do that themselves, that's what it's about, trying to be able to give you, the best of the best, that if like you had a channel and you were going to put up Pete Carroll photos, like what ones would you select? Like trying to find the best versions of him. And I try to do that with every single photo in mind. My guys, someone else's, team players, whatever. Like I'm trying to give you guys the experience. That's why it's different here than other channels. We're not just doing photos. We're doing the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors. Super big S. Oh, snap. Doesn't that look good? Oh, then the Seattle Mariners leadoff hitter, Victor Robles. Swag. My God. It's a swaggy fucking jersey. Like, I need to buy that. I need to get a Cal Raleigh one of the City Connect. Beautiful. Hey, we're going to be the player that we all know that you can be. Not get injured. Do your best to try to hit 280 to 300. Be more consistent. Run the bags. Play great defense. 30 home runs. 30-30 club. 40-40 club. 50-50 club. One day. Can't wait. We're getting there. Let's go. I had to squeeze that in. We haven't had anything Mariners on the channel for a while. That felt good. Anything baseball, to be honest. Like, shit, I'd be okay with just Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani photos or whatever. Anybody's else favorite, I'm ready. Paisley says, Dad. She's giving me the dad. Oh. Oh, I live my life for my dog. Like so true, 110%. Like, it's just unbelievable. I've never like, people like, if you're lucky enough, to ever actually be in love, even if it only lasts for a short period of time. Some people have that opportunity in life, some don't, but unconditional love, and especially I think it really is important at the time of life that you're in. If you're at a good point in your life, a dog can make it even better. But if you're in a bad place in life and you get a dog and a dog can be there for you, it literally can save your life, like it did with mine. Like, you never know where you're going to be mentally, and some days are worse than others, and sometimes you manufacture that in your own head, and sometimes it's your surroundings or a combination of both. But to be able to have you guys and then to have the Paisley pup, my life is very, very good. Yeah, I've had her since she was 6 weeks. She is 3 years old, and I hope that we live as long as we possibly can live together, because every day is a 10 when I get to spend a day with her. I really appreciate every every single day. Because every day to a human is like a week for a dog. So if you actually put in all the love and all the playing and all the shit that you don't maybe want to do that day, but you know that if you do it, it's going to like make an ultimate difference for your dog, you do it. That's why I'm trying to give her the best life. I want her to be able to have the joy to be able to pee and poo wherever she wants. Rich person house, whatever type of grass or shrubbery they got. That's intriguing. She's got a lot of all the architecture on the houses here are amazing. Like there's just so many different people's like kind of style, and you get to see like different type of architecture on the houses, the way that they have their fences, or just like if they have pillars, or a walkway. Like, I don't know, when I go on walks, I'm looking for like the, Christmas lights, but I like looking at like the way that people have their house set up, with the decorations and everything. Like, it's just interesting to see like people's like perspective on life and how they pretty much dress and how they have their house. But the animals do bring us a lot of joy. Paisley loves it. I know you've had a good connection with the animals. It's like, go out of your way, spoil your animal, because if you don't, you never know when that day comes where they're not around and you're going to wish that you did. She says, woof, 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 woof. Yay, yay. Anything else that I can get for you guys? Final score, Bengals 19, Steelers 17. Paisley giving me the eye. You guys are awesome. We're going to do Vikings Lions tomorrow. If you can be here, awesome. If not, I'll see you soon. Anything else? Are we good? I think we are. I can always get some more photos tomorrow. You guys can come through. Well, I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to all the people that donated, commented, shared. I appreciate you very, very much. Captain with a tenner. Sarah, $1 holla. Chief with Chief, $4 holla. Reflect, $3 holla. Reflect, $2 holla. Matt Hayden, $10 holla. First dono to the channel. That's a big deal. That's pizza money. Megan with a $5 holla. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for the help with Sarah and Captain doing the mod duties. Appreciate that. And I appreciate every one of y'all. Chief, Sarah, Megan, Matt, Reflect, everyone. Appreciate y'all. And I got one question for you. And Captain, all y'all. And I won't forget about you, Captain. I got you, my guy. Captain, I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.